up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going, Healthy Warrior Game?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show. Guys, I got a good feeling it's going to be a bad episode.
With that start, yeah.
Yeah. No, and then everything that was happening during the intro and the countdown, I was like noticing a bunch of stuff going wrong on the computer and stuff, and I was like, this is good. No, this will be good. This will be fine. That's what we want. We are freewheeling, free falling, with no producer here. Yeah, producer here. So if we need a producer, I can chime in. Producer here. But until then, it's the guys. We're back. Guys, we are at WOTR the show. I am at Ref Marsh, and with me today, making his triumphant return, the other half of the legendary podcasting duo, tag team champions of podcasting, the Ironics, Kevlar on the Rocks.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Glad to be
And
back.
the latest, hairiest, most wonderful addition to the team at Beard Sports. What's up, Mr. Beard?
What up, G?
It's nice to have everyone back. Holiday season, you know.
Yeah.
I got my stockings over there.
Got my present right there.
I got this is a Mandalorian, isn't it?
Yeah, premium format figure sideshow. Only $600.
I got a Bailey stocking too. Dude, that's it.
That's
They're just
cool.
giving us things.
Oh, you want to get into wrestling? I think she's coming back for day one. I think she's gonna make an appearance on day one.
Dude, she had surgery 3 weeks ago.
No, I read something and then I saw. I know you watched that live interview on Instagram with her and Stone Cold, and I know she interviewed a bunch of other people. I stopped watching after Stone Cold, but and I just stumbled upon it. Like I didn't know what was going on. Like you being you, I know you knew it was happening and you went to it specifically. Like I was just like some lost child that was like, oh, what's this? Oh, Stone Cold. Oh, Bailey.
No,
I don't know, dude. Like she wrote something. There was a tweet. I wished I would have screenshotted it and sent it to you. We should actually do some like pre-production on this show. It would help.
It's only episode 1. It's no big deal.
Yeah. We're just starting off, right? So,
yeah.
It's a
we've only
pilot.
done one. So anyway, she said a bunch of specific stuff about her health and how she was feeling.
Yeah.
And I think it was on Twitter or whatever, but anyway, or an interview or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. How long was it after Becky Lynch came back after having a kid? Like, having a kid,
Okay.
big deal. I'm back in shape. Like
Having
she's
a
one of those-
baby is different than ripping your knee.
You're ripping
Dude,
something
NFL
else, having a
players try to
baby.
come back after surgery and stuff like 3 to 6 weeks if they can play. I'm just saying, like, we just had the whole thing last episode where we were talking about their, how they're doing the college thing with the college athletes and stuff like that. Like, these guys are athletes. They have a short window to be in their prime, Yeah. A lot of them wrestle injured anyway. I mean, I think that's why we're seeing Edge doing a lot of like promo work, and it's very little actual like clash, because it sounds like he's 1 or 2 matches away from being like not wrestling again, just based on what I've read, and I'm sure you've read the same thing. So I just think like I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't realize her surgery wasn't 3 weeks ago. I thought she got the surgery in like June. How long is it? She's not been on since I've been watching.
Yeah.
And I came back in like March.
Yeah,
I came back for SummerSlam, basically.
But she just had a surgery. She didn't have the surgery immediately. She had the surgery down the line a little bit.
Well, yeah, but she's not been on a single anything that I've seen on the WWE except for that Stone Cold interview, which was not a new interview, I don't believe. It's new enough that he was in Nevada and not doing the things in LA. But I mean, if she had knee surgery in the summer, we're talking about this is the time she would be coming back, like beginning of the year.
Those injuries are typically 9 months. The ones that she had. Kevin,
What
were you
did
gonna
she
say?
have? Did
What?
she blow her entire knee out? Like, did she tear her MCL and ACL?
I thought it was both. I thought it was both
Okay,
the CLs.
if
but I
it's
don't know.
both, it's like 9 months.
That's
And
what I'm
that would
saying. 9 months.
Well, I thought she hasn't wrestled at all this year.
Like having a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
pretty much.
But I
Kev,
was
what were you gonna say?
about the Edge thing that Beard brought up? I think that's the reason why everyone that goes against Edge talks about ending his career, because I think he is teetering that line. And then the first person to actually, when he's actually all right, I'm done. I can't come back. Has that under his resume? I told you I was going to do this, and I did.
Yeah, and then whoever does also then has that over everyone else's head. You couldn't put him away. I did.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely going to be a. This is me texting you, Kev, so you're not caught off guard.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if he. So let me ask you this though, and this is, I guess, what the Beard wants to know type thing. Is it if Edge lets somebody be his last match, that's gonna put that guy over, like, and who needs that? Because they're doing the Miz. Does the Miz need it? It looks like it could be the Miz right now. Like, I don't know. The Miz is one of the more popular wrestlers, so I don't know that he needs it.
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, one could dream, right? Because I would love to see that guy back in the WWE. I mean, I just think that because like I said, I keep saying we're missing that mysticism element. Like, instantaneously, you get it back with, like the voodoo, superstitious, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Kev? Who could use it? And then we'll pause the rest of this segment, come back to it because we'll hit up a couple things up top. But Kev, who do you think?
Currently, it'd have to be a young dude. Like, I don't know, maybe Austin Theory.
That
I
could
could
be
see
big.
them doing it for that kid because they like him.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's really good.
I have to ask you though, it feels like every new guy that they're pushing is a heel. Like, everybody's a heel. Like, it just, I know we had this last time, but it just feels like it's so, and Theory's on both. Like, he was on Raw last night or Monday. And, right? I mean, so he's doing both.
It's because the WWE is the evil empire. Everyone's a heel in WWE.
That's true. That's a good point.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening.
All right, I'm gonna read out some of the chatter right now. So we're coming through the chat. We got Just in Time 211. Cheers to Just in Time.
Oh yeah.
We got Fabtina, Grim Reaper saying hey. Also, Grim Reaper brings up a really good point in regards to surgery. Sometimes a patient will start training and rehabbing first before surgery to build up the muscles around the muscle that needs to be repaired, which might have been what we were seeing before. But a couple things real quick, little housekeeping. Kev, what's in your glass?
I'm just pouring another one. It's New Amsterdam Gin tonight.
All right.
Sipping on gin and juice.
Well, I would have done the juice. But Snoop's on AEW.
That's a good point. Snoop's on AEW.
A Wednesday show. Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Snoop will do anything for money, by the way. So, like, I think that's just fair to say. Mama didn't raise no fool. Snoop's gonna say yes if it involves getting paid.
Oh, yeah.
And
He has a
especially
show
if
with
it just
Martha
involves him
Stewart.
being Snoop. Hey, come play Snoop for us. Why don't you come on and give us your thoughts? And I know hasn't he been on the WWF too, or WWE?
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, AEW just keeps taking all the Hall of Famers.
Yeah. AEW
Next
is
is
land
Donald
of the legends. It's all the old people, all the old folks.
Mhm.
For a young upstart, they have a lot of really old
They're-
talent.
Well, where do everyone go to retire? They go to Florida. So AEW's right there for you.
They're just bringing in the whole retirement home.
Mm-hmm.
Beard, what's in your glass? What are you drinking?
I had one with a bow on it. Little Terramana. Made into a Paloma. I know that's been my drink of choice, but it's been like -2 here. So I want to feel warm, like I'm on a beach somewhere, because it's been freezing. It is currently 3 degrees outside. So when you're missing Alaska, just give me a call and I'll remind you of how terrible the winters are here.
You need a more precise thermometer, because can you imagine the moment it becomes 3.16 degrees outside?
That would be damn cool.
And then you'd hear the ice shatter. You'd hear the ice.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I do hear the ice break, because we're on a lake. But it hasn't so far, that big. So, yeah, it's a little Terramana made into a Paloma. Little seltzer water with some grapefruit juice, basically.
A little Terramasa Imana.
I love it. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, this tequila is dangerous because, you can drink a whole bottle and not feel like you drank tequila. Except for the next day.
Except for the drunk part.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drunk part, too, right?
Yeah. I'm just having vodka and iced tea tonight. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, I got to shout out Michael Pellegrini in the chat that says, as Ref Marsh says, in AEW, they're either 16 or 60.
Yes, that's right. I'm not seeing Micah come through on my chat, dude. Something's not. I think my YouTube's down on my side. So any YouTube chatter comes through, you're in charge of it. All right, Mr. Beard.
Okay, I can hang. I think it's probably our friend Micah is usually the guy. Or,
yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good. He's toxic as fuck, but he's a good guy. Me and him get into shouting matches, and then we just hug it out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember him being toxic the last episode, but that could just be just in time brings out the best of this show.
It could be your innocence.
Kev comes back and fucking ruins the whole vibe.
I think it's your innocence and naivete. What were you gonna say, Kev?
You gotta throw a swerve in there every once in a while.
Yeah, I love interacting with people on the chat. Like I've over this pandemic and stuff, I've gotten some good friends. My guy at Hot Take Hockey, and he's then good. Bad Dog Sports. Like that dude has like 3,000 people watching him bitch about the New York Football Giants. Like he has built a strong YouTube fan base. So Micah comes back and goes, Marsh and I have DMs that are hate-filled and end in misery. I like it.
No, it is. We get to the point where we're not talking to each other anymore, and then a couple days later, it's like, you want to talk again? It's like, yeah, let's talk more about it.
You cool
and Justin Time does say, it's a good kind of toxic if that's possible, which is true.
Like a Britney Spears toxic.
Micah says, I'm toxic in nature. It's a slow burn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true. It's like when you boil a lobster, it just thinks the water's getting hot at first. It doesn't. The water's not boiling yet. That's how it is. He'll boil you.
Yeah, baked alive. Didn't even know it. Out of the pot and into the frying pan.
Yeah. And I do want to shout out real quick. We keep it up the whole show for as of right now, but I do want to talk about New Wave Coffee. If you guys have not had your Christmas delivery of New Wave Coffee yet, you are bucking up, because New Wave Coffee, Flow State Coffee, is specialty grade coffee with L-theanine and raw cacao for productivity and creativity. Gives you better energy, focus, and mood than a regular cup of coffee, while decreasing negative side effects like anxiety and blood pressure. That's some badass coffee. If you put in promo code CHEERS on newwave.co, NOOWAVE.co, promo code CHEERS, you can get 10% off whatever deals they got going on. So I say do it.
Man, you're almost getting that down like the Micro Machine, man.
And it's on the screen.
Yeah, and we keep it on the screen. It's over there. There. Wait, there.
To the right of me on the screen. Oh, the other way.
Oh, there.
Are we having a Brady Bunch moment right now?
Yeah. Hell yeah, we are. Topical, love it. Let's see. Well, as far as let's see, we didn't stop anywhere that we had to get back to, so we just talk about some of the news as it's going. Let's start with the beard. What does the beard want to know?
Yeah, so did you see that ref that got attacked in the ring? It was an actual like match or whatever. Dude, that dude looked like he got hit in the head with like a fucking mace.
Yeah,
like,
it was a spike.
Like that should have been that guy should be going to jail. Like I saw I was like, dude, like how many times you got to cut a dude open?
Yeah.
Like I know it was part of the shtick. Like, man, part of me is like, I'm kind of glad we don't have that shit in the WWE right now. If you have to, like, you know, it just feels too like, oh, let's, you know, gladiator. Oh, we're getting tired of seeing lions kill people. Let's tie one side to the other and then a horse and like elephant and see who wins. Like, you know, like just horrific shit. Like I saw the pictures of this, and I know this was not. It was a smaller event. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think.
Indy.
An Indy, but good God, man! Like,
yeah, the guy's got a bunch of staples in his head and stuff, and
yeah, it looked terrible, man. Like, I that's another thing we could have done pre-production. We could have had the photo and stuff, but like, I just
want the
like,
photo on this.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, man, like, I felt it sounds like the ref is like a really liked guy, and like, this other dude, I didn't even take his name down. What a
we don't need to mention his name. I know what his name is. But
yeah. Well, so the thing I wanted to bring
it
up. I hope he gets good.
So part of the backstory on it was that they wanted to do a spot where they opened up the ref, like they wanted the ref to blade himself. And apparently he was having an issue with it or got kind of cold feet, and so the wrestler got really upset and just started hacking into the guy's head to prove a point or something, and the guy ended up getting knocked unconscious and was bleeding pretty profusely. They had to call They called 911 to get the guy assistance, and then there was talk in the back about kayfabing the police, and it was just, it's no matter what way you cut it, it's pretty fucking crazy. Oh, also Justin Time says it came out that the ref has a blood infection now too. He had to go back into the ER after that. But I mean, at the end of the day, like fucking what for? Like, realistically speaking, let's say you wanted to get blood in some indie show with 100 people there, untelevised, and the ref's like, you know what? I don't want to cut myself. This is ridiculous. And now you've done this. Who looks better for it?
It's awful. I mean, it's assault, man. And you could say kayfabe. I saw that dude's head. He didn't look like a willing participant. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it looked bad. I was like, okay, like one slice or something. Maybe the wrestler got a little overzealous. It looked like this dude pinned him down and stabbed him in the head like 27 times.
Well, he kind of did. Did you see the footage?
I did.
Yeah, he knocked him out, and then he grabs him, and he's holding the guy's body up while he's just stabbing on his head. And it's fucking terrible. Yes. And it's ridiculous. Yeah, like you said, like, you're doing this for how many? What are these? You know, do people pay $1,000 to get into that? I mean, that was just brutality for the sake of brutality, and not like. And it's assault, right? I agree. I would completely press charges, and I wouldn't stop at the wrestler. I would also go to the promoter. I would try and get a number of these people out of the business or in jail. Like, this is assault that was being condoned by someone above. You put these people in there. Like, no, you're absolutely responsible for this.
Well, let me say the wrestler, I don't know his name, and you said you want to, but this guy, I read about this guy. And it sounds like this is like his MO. He's kind of a shitbag. And how people keep giving him work. Like, get rid of those guys. Like,
and that's what I mean. I would sue the promoter too. Because the promoter not only brought him in, but the promoter didn't bring in security. The promoter didn't call the paramedics. The promoter did nothing. It was people around who did. Yeah. I mean, it was another ref who was in there trying to drag the other ref out. You didn't bring in security. You don't bring in medical. You have this dude who has a history of behaving this way. Yeah. And no, I would, if it was me, which maybe this will get me no bookings from this guy, I would try to take out the wrestler and the promoter. I would try to shut that shit down because you guys condoned it and facilitated it. Let's go with Kev, and then we'll go back to Beard.
I was going to say, especially if they didn't have any kind of medical on standby.
Yeah.
Like, that's a necessity. You know, we've all seen wrestling botches from the top levels down. And if there's not, medical personnel on hand, that's asking for a lawsuit.
Yeah. And if the guy's knocking out someone to do it, especially in the concept of a ref, where realistically, and I've seen refs talk about it in a way that doesn't please me, where they say we're just another character in the show, we're just there to perform a part. I really truly believe that there is a facilitation of the refs in being the set of eyes to ensure safety. I do think that wrestler safety should be on the mind of every ref, whether they're first aid certified or not. And I do think every ref should be first aid certified, if not better. I'm not saying better than being first aid. I'm saying more than being first aid. Like having some sort of a background. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Have more than just the one. But in this regard, here you have somebody who, for all intents and purposes, is there for the safety of the ref being knocked out and not being taken care of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and that's I remember boxing back in the day, and I don't know with UFC, I haven't followed up on it, but I know that the boxing refs had to have a lot of, CPR and first aid and paramedic training and stuff like that. So
there was a chunk in time they had to be doctors. Only doctors could referee for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, Micah asked, do you think this incident will see less deathmatch spots at random indies?
I don't think that means we'll see less ones. I think maybe we'll see we might see less of that guy. I don't think it's going to impact the view of death matches, because the thing is, this wasn't even a death match. This was a normal match with a guy who brings a spike to the ring attacking the ref. So I don't think it's going to have impact on death matches. What do you think, Kev?
It sounded to me like some of the stuff I read that it wasn't scripted that way or anything. Like the promoter didn't have any of that, and that guy just did it on his own.
Correct. But
so
he facilitated it.
So part of me is like, I'll hold the promoter responsible to an extent, but if this guy did all of this, like if the promoter and him like, hey, this would be a cool story, then like hold them both accountable. But I mean, I'm not saying that the promoter isn't responsible for other things, but you guys all know, like local laws, depending where you're at, what state, they all have requirements per number of people that you have to have paramedics on hand. Like hockey games have paramedics on hand. Like if I've seen a girl get hit in the face with a puck at Sullivan Arena in Anchorage, and thank God there were paramedics on hand, man, because I know there was a girl killed in the NHL. That's why they did the nets.
Yeah.
So, and actually they did it at Sullivan after that too. Go ahead.
Concerts have to have paramedics on hand as well. And that's no contact. There's musicians playing music and that's it. And, here we have guys, risking life and limb and stuff like that. And, and of course the promoter is going to sit there and say, oh, I had no idea, because he's trying to wash his hands because he could probably see a lawsuit coming.
So do we know that the promoter didn't have medical on hand, or
if they had medical on hand, you don't need to call an ambulance. You don't have a referee rushing to the back saying call 911 if they have a paramedic there. But I will say, go ahead, Kev.
I was just gonna respond to Micah as well. Is, as Ref Marsh always says, we don't know shit about contracts, but with the death matches, I think as a promoter, you're gonna have to start making them sign liability forms.
Oh, potentially.
Hey, we're not responsible. We're not responsible for anything that happens outside of what's scripted. If you get hurt, sorry, type of thing.
But there's that. But even then, potentially, you'd have to be able to identify willing participants. If I was going to be in a match with a dude who has a history like that and has to sign a liability form before going out there, you might need to find a new ref. Because if you're telling me you don't trust this guy to be in there with me, then I don't trust this guy to be in there with me.
It's all about consent, baby.
It is. And I think that something that people aren't thinking about is I wouldn't mind, and this could be taken totally wrong, and I don't think it'll come out right, but I'm going to go for it anyways. I think I'd rather see less indies if I'm seeing more responsible indies. And I say that because in the territory days, when even with the quote outlaw mud shows, as they say, they were required by the buildings to have paramedics and a certain number of security per head. Like there was, every single one of them had to budget that. And all these indie shows that are just some random dude who owns a ring and sells $10 tickets thinks that there's no liability on them, but you're running a promotion. You are a promoter. That's part of your responsibility is hiring the security, hiring the paramedics. And if requiring people do that again means less indies, then I think that's better for everyone involved to have less indies if they're more responsible.
I was going to say too, Kev, before you go, I was going to say, I'm willing to bet, as long as this sport has been around, that a majority of the contracts with those wrestlers say anything off scripted, we're not liable. Anything off scripted, the promoter's not liable. That I guarantee a lot of that legalese stuff has been ironed out over time. Because we're talking about a business that's been around for almost 100 years now.
But none of these guys have contracts. It's an indie show.
Exactly.
Right, but they're individual contractees, right? They're contractors. I mean, the performer. So they go to the promoter, pays them, right? So they work out a deal with the promoter. I get percentage of the gate or whatever it is, flat rate.
Most of these guys are getting flat rates or nothing at all.
And a lot of times it's, hey, come work this show for me. Well, let me see if I'm free. Yeah, okay, I'm free. All right, here's, whatever, $50, $100, cool, I'm on my way. And that's it.
A lot of people
there's no signing things. There's no like, hey, if I kill myself, if I'm paralyzed after this match, are you going to take care of me? There's none of that.
Yeah, I do think that indie wrestling is worse for the performers than territory wrestling was in a lot of ways. Even the job guys and the enhancement talent, no one was ever in the ring who was not getting paid. And there's so many indies and there's so many people who want to play the promoter that you end up with a lot of rings filled with people who are not only not getting paid, but they're not being taken care of in any way. And if any of these guys break legs, and I've seen it where people break legs and they go, thank God I have insurance through my job. You know what I mean? But good luck going back to Amazon Prime and saying, hey, I need you guys to cover this injury I got over the weekend. Like, it's not all the same. You know what I mean? Like,
a box fell on me. A box fell on me.
Yeah.
You go in and you go into work and then you have a box fell on me. So I feel like we talked about the ref that got attacked in the ring and kind of subsequent responsibilities. I did want to ask.
Real quick on that is, that's the whole reason why a lot of these states set up their boxing commissions and stuff like that, because people would set up just a ring and say, okay, we have a boxing match, let's go. The states started regulating it, making sure everything's, okay,
take care of the fighter.
Up and up. Yes. And I wouldn't be surprised if eventually, even though it's scripted, that wrestling's, has some kind of committee like that, state committee, that, hey, if you're having a show, you have to get our approval with the ring, with the equipment and everything else.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that some states still do it. A lot of states stop doing it. But I agree with you. I'd rather see us go back to that kind of mentality to protect the performers. And I know that people think, hey, indie wrestling's thriving. There's a show anywhere you go. You can go any state and see 4 or 5 promotions. But how many of them are taking care of their people, and how many of those people are getting paid, and is it worth it? Are we getting an oversaturation of untrained talent getting hurt and being booted out of the business and, quote, paying their dues? Or are we taking care of people and actually running a promotion? Micah does say, this reminds me of New Jack and mass transit incident in some ways. I think in a lot of ways it reminded me of that. Except with him, that kid lied to get in there and lied about being trained even. And this was someone who was a willing participant up to a degree and then was knocked out and treated the same. So, I mean, there are differences, but I think in a lot of ways it is. And then Grim Reaper says, pro wrestling shows are under sports commissions in some states. Yep. Just like I said. Right before we go to Beard's next topic of what the Beard wants to know, Micah did ask, Marsh, you having an end of the year type show? And we are. Kevlar's putting together a list of Boozy Awards we're going to be giving out, and I'll be giving those to everyone who's going to be on the show to break down the boozies of the booziest people of the year. So
it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be fun. It'll be fun.
I thought we talked about that last show.
We did, but we're not doing it this show. Kev's still putting together the list.
No, but I mean, I think we talked about a year-end last show, and you said just that. And Michael was here for that. I think.
Mike is toxic as fuck, or he's trying to get me to plug stuff.
For not paying attention.
Or he's just trying to get me to plug something he thinks I should be plugging. I mean, I don't know. He didn't ask me about my pro wrestling tees site. I don't know why that is. If you're trying to be, prowrestlingtees.com/wrestling on the rocks. Get your Pointless Aggression t-shirts now.
Should we call the Boozies Day 365 instead of Day 1?
Yeah.
Day 365.
Yeah.
The Boozy 365 award.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the Boozy 365 award more than like the Boozy annual award or some shit like that. Or the first Boozy.
You're pronouncing it wrong. It's annual.
Annual. It's annual Boozies.
Annual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here to farty.
Okay.
The farty has started,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Micah says
So
if it's
that-
on a
so
good day,
that
I want in. What good day? All days are good days with me, pal. And then Grammy says this show should be called the Newsies for New Wave. That's possibly we get a sponsored Newsy award at the end of it. And he says that's because I want people to go to my pro wrestling tee store. No one's heard of it. It's toxic.
Nope.
Go ahead, Beard.
Yeah, that douchebag wrestler was named Hannibal. Or goes by that name anyway. Yeah, I know you didn't want to say it, but like I had it on the thing.
Yeah.
It's like we spent so much time. I'm like, maybe we should tell people who this because they don't go pay to watch them.
Well, I mean, guess
Like if the guy. I mean, I'm saying like, I don't believe in suppression of the press, sir. I fought for
see, I
the
thought-
fucking Constitution for 25 years, and I laid my ass on the line, and I did go on the line for the defense
see,
of the Second Amendment and the First Amendment, which
First
covers free
Amendment
speech.
too.
Yeah, was that a threat? You just threatened me with the Second Amendment?
No, Stimpy did.
But see, I thought-
Ren. See,
I
Ren's
thought
got my
we were
45.
I thought we were treating him like Lord Voldemort,
Yeah.
but we shall not speak his name.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I said maybe we should say his name because like so people don't go watch him.
Yeah. Well,
Because if I never heard of the guy before I saw the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is effed. And honestly, when I first read the story, I was like, oh, I hope the ref's okay. It doesn't sound that bad. Then I saw the refs. I was like, oh my, how is that dude not in jail?
yeah.
Like,
the fact
that
that that's
was
not
not,
already happened
like-
is crazy.
I could not believe that, I mean, unreal. And if the promoter went to bat for the promoter should have fucking thrown the performer under the proverbial bus and said, you're out.
Yeah.
100%.
I-
And
no, I
Micah to
would've
say, Ref Marsh supports censorship confirmed. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
yeah.
Shut the fuck up
He's
about
a
it.
communist fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut the fuck up about it. What's it to you?
Mhm.
Go ahead, Beard. What's the next on the docket?
So, Sam, speaking of suing motherfuckers, Sami Zayn gonna sue the WWE? Brock Lesnar? Oh man, that was so good. I mean, that whole thing was fucking gold. I was just loving it, and my wife's like looking at me because she was in like working late and I'm in there, and I was just like, this is excellent. Like I loved every bit of that. And I'll tell you what, like part of me is like, I want to see Rock and Sock, but Brock and Sammy. Like I really think that they could go for that for another year and a half and I wouldn't be bored of it. And you know what? Brock looked like he was enjoying it. I feel in the past, I don't think he ever liked doing this. And
I
now I
disagree
think
with that.
he knows he's not going to fight anymore. Yeah, the Canadian alpha males. Oh my god!
I made a flyer for the Canadian alpha males. I'll send it to you, Kev, so you can see it.
Nice.
But
don't you feel like I think that he's really enjoying like the promo work, and like and the fans are really like he could be the biggest heel, but like everybody's root. It's like he's at like Stone Cold level now, where it's like whatever. He can't be a heel. Because we're so sick of Roman, blah blah blah, Roman the bloodline. But I just actually feel like it's hard to fake that amount of genuine love that I'm seeing on his face in the performance. It's very hard to fake it. I think he's really loving this. I think he knows it's probably his last ride before he, goes off into the Canadian Saskatchewan sunset. And even though he's born in America, you fucking turncoat son of a bitch, fucking Lesnar. Don't you come back, bitch. We don't want you. You fucking expat motherfucker.
But the thing that's getting me with Lesnar right now is he's actually showing some character. He's not just one dimension. Paul Heyman isn't just sitting there talking. He's, joking around, smiling, showing that he has some kind of like personality.
You know what just hit me? You know what he's doing?
Producer?
Oh yeah, producer's always hitting me. Hits me with broken plates and stuff.
What? Are you abused?
No, I can't.
Coming out that you're abused? Are you in an abusive relationship, Ref Marsh?
No, I would never say that out loud. No,
Oh, God,
that would get
if
me in
you
more
are,
trouble. That would make it worse.
I cannot
Get
confirm
out.
or deny these allegations.
blink twice if you're in trouble, Ref Marsh.
Get out.
Blink twice.
So this is what just occurred to me. You know what Brock Lesnar's doing is he's actually formulating that Paul Heyman wasn't just an advocate, that he was learning from Paul Heyman. He's doing really manipulative stuff. The way that he keeps talking to Kayla and dropping little nuggets of, well, ask Paul, he knew, just to watch Paul have to defend himself to the bloodline. We're seeing him manipulate Sammy.
Oh no! I mean, dude, the Paul Heyman shit was like the cherry on top. Like, I fucking love that too, because I know where that's going. Because we've been talking about the betrayal of Roman Reigns by Paul Heyman. Like, that's going to be the demise. He's going to go back. But Paul Heyman manipulated that whole situation so Sami Zayn didn't stomp his ass. Which
Well,
I
yeah,
also
but that's what I'm
thought was
saying.
brilliant.
Is
And
that
Stephanie
character-
goes, I don't like that Paul Heyman guy. He's
Yeah.
kind of a scumbag. And I said, no, he's really good. And he's probably the greatest human. He's probably like one of the nicest persons ever, I'm sure. Because he's been in the business forever, right? So, you know, I remember when he had hair and then ECW, I remember a little bit of it. But, like, I thought
And the
that
cell
shit
phone?
was...
Oh, the cell phone.
Oh,
The cell
God,
phone
the
was good.
promo work was excellent, guys. That's all I got to say.
But
Oh, no, I meant Paul with the cell phone, not Brock with the flip phone.
oh yeah, Brock with the flip phone was pretty good too. But what we're seeing is the personality we're seeing of Brock is a Brock who's been silently watching and learning from Paul Heyman all along. And now that he doesn't have Paul, he's coming out there saying, I know how to do this too. I didn't need Paul to do it. It was easier to have Paul to do it. Or I needed Paul to do it, but I don't need him now. Like, he's doing the same kind of dastardly tricks that Paul always did around him for him on his own, which is fucking phenomenal.
Dude, I loved it. I loved it so much, I'm getting another drink.
Yeah.
Cheers for that.
Cheers. Shit, I gotta start keeping notes of certain things. He steamrolls right past topics. Because there was something else I was gonna go back on a little bit. So we had the Canadian Alpha Males.
The Moose Hunters.
Oh, that was part of it, dude. I liked the Michael Cole line where Brock tells Adam Pearce that he hunted a moose and killed it and called it Adam Pearce, and then Michael
Just
Cole
Pierce.
said, "Just Pearce."
no
That's
Adam.
right. And then Michael Cole, I couldn't tell if the mic was meant to be on or not, but he definitely like whispered Brocky and Bullwinkle, and then it was like you could hear like a laugh for a second. Then he's all like, "Right back to the thing," like he was right back to pitching the thing. So it almost sounded like he wasn't supposed to have the mic on. But Brocky and Bullwinkle is so good.
Yeah.
Micah says, I don't get Paul and Brock's relationship. I don't.
It's like you and Marsh.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know what you're missing. I don't know how you miss it. Like, he's the advocate.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand their relationship right now? The complication is meant to be there for a reason.
Brock sent in the Trojan horse to infiltrate the bloodline.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, you could do so much with that storyline. Like, I am so for what they're doing there. I hope they go. I often think we think of better shit than they do sometimes, and then when they don't do of the better shit we thought of, I'm like, oh damn, I wish they would have done what we thought of. You know,
Well,
like,
that's the
I don't
wrestling
want to think
community.
too much about it.
That's the internet wrestling community. They
Yeah,
get pissed
that's how
off, and that's how most journalists say, "Oh, there was a sudden change of plans because they didn't do what I said."
Exactly. Yeah. They think it's going to go a certain way. It doesn't. They go, oh, well, they must have changed the plans. They're like, okay, well, I guess.
Last minute, Vince and the Gorilla changed it.
100%. On the same topic of Sammy and change of plans and wrestling, quote, news articles being wrong a lot, it came out today, supposedly, reportedly, that Kevin Owens re-signed with the WWE a multi-year contract.
Ooh,
Fuck yeah.
oh,
I'll drink to that.
for
Oh, yeah.
sweet, dude.
Micah just said, Sports Beer just described the IWC in 6 seconds. 100%. This is the dive bar of the IWC. This is where we drink those woes away and fantasy book our asses off.
Yeah. Well, see, now we need Sami Zayn, maybe with Kevin Owens, with the Trojan horse of Paul Heyman to also get the tag titles off of the Usos.
But Brock and Sammy can. I want a Canadian Alpha Males tag team with Brock and Sammy, where Brock never tags in Sammy and just keeps winning tag team matches, and Sammy just keeps coming in and celebrating like he's the one who got the victory.
All right, that'd be interesting. But I don't know about Brock as the tag team champion.
Yeah.
Also, did you guys see Brock ask Pat McAfee for a loan with the chair? Like, hey, motherfucker, I know you just got $130 million from FanDuel.
Is that what he said?
No, I don't think he's. I don't know why he pointed the chair at him. Maybe he was congratulated him. But I was like, why? I mean, Pat's never said anything bad about Brock. I was like, don't hurt Pat, Brock. Like, don't hurt Pat.
Yeah.
You son of a.
100%. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about Kevin Owens re-signing. He is incredible. And watching him this week on Raw, everything he did, I was like, fuck, he's just perfect at this.
He's actually doing really good promos too. I was like, man, I hope he sticks around, because I was starting to be like, it'd be brutal. It'd be brutal if he, like, I feel like his character is probably the best it's been since I've been watching again. And like, I just want to make sense that he would
dude, realistically,
resign.
Every slight tweak that Kevin Owens has ever made to his character feels like we're watching the best Kevin Owens that's ever been. And that's what makes him so good, is he's constantly tweaking his character a little bit here and there, or he'll make a big tweak and you go, okay, well, this is way better than that. Or he'll turn babyface and go, oh my God, he's an incredible babyface. Then he'll go heel and you go, oh wait, he's a better heel. Then he goes back to babyface and go, wait, no, I think he's a better babyface. It's so hard to pin your finger on him because he's so fucking good at this. That's why I'm really happy that he's staying in the actual good company to prove it all the time, every week.
I don't think we have to shit on AEW to say.
I didn't say that. You said that.
I'm saying, like, what I'm saying is, like, they're already oversaturated with WWE, and I feel like I don't know that the WWE guys that are over there and Bryan Danielson and CM Punk and stuff are really helping them. It feels like the stuff that I'm reading, a lot of the like kind of startup fans aren't in favor of that sort of invasion of WWE talent. I feel like that one or two more names, but I feel like it's that sort of thing is over. I mean, we're seeing the numbers. It's not close. The WWE is still smashing them in ratings, and that's all that fucking matters. Like, that's money, and that's what matters in this industry. And I just don't know. Like, I'm not gonna crap on their product because I haven't watched it, but like, I know they got some good wrestlers over there, and they got some guys I like. But like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I mean,
I also think that even with their championship scene, like, I don't know what Kevin Owens would do in AEW. Micah does say, I'm happy that KO is still wrestling. I'd like him better in AEW, but he's so good it doesn't matter. He's the complete package. Yeah, I don't think I would like him more in AEW. I haven't liked most people more in AEW than, but I mean, it's just also because we're biased to our own products that we like. All I'm saying is that with KO, I don't know what he would get involved in that would feel like a big thing. You know what I mean? Like, they have such a plotted out history of what they're going to be doing. Like we talked about it on the Thursday show, is that one of my issues with Hangman Page as champion right now is that, you just fucked up my thing. I'm gonna have to like research.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, dude. Like, I
was just watching how he did it, and it's fucked. So I'm gonna go fix it. But it's one of those things where it's all like they're set in their ways of what they're going to do and how and who's going to be in what order. That it's not like him jumping over there is going to shoot him to the top of the line of anything. So it was just he'd just be another guy out there doing a thing, and as long as he's having fun, I don't know that it's up to us at all to give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, as long as he likes what he's doing.
He re-signed with the apparently on the broadcast, I'm Kevlar on the rocks now. I don't know how you fucking manage that, Kev, you fucking son of a bitch. You leave the thing and you fuck the whole screen up. It's all messed up now.
I know.
And you're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute too.
You're muted.
You're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you because you're muted. Anyway, Micah says
I didn't say
Bryan
shit.
Danielson-
I didn't touch shit either. Sorry.
Whatever. You
I don't know
did
what the hell's going on.
Bryan Danielson is amazing. He's helping AEW a lot, but people like Andrade aren't doing a lot. They're either feud with Cody or Moxley.
Yeah.
Is Moxley the champion? Is that?
I think it's arguable on what Daniel Bryan's doing that's tangible. I think that the people who are probably working with him are getting better and learning lessons. But at the same time, does Bryan Danielson beating up the job squad on his way to the mediocrely important champion make what Daniel Bryan's doing that good or that important?
You mean NXT 1.0?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of that, isn't it? It is a lot of NXT guys. That you know what though, dude? Like, I feel like it again. It's not like I think I saw an interview with Stephanie McMahon where she's like they were talking. They love the competition of the AEW. I think that makes their businesses better. I think you're seeing both. I think AEW is probably in a lull right now for some of the diehard fans that started it, and I think that the WWE is a little bit on the climb because they're like, oh, we got this kid in the street thinks that they can tangle with us, and right now they're not. I mean, it's just look at the ratings again. It's all about money. That's all that matters to these people on TV. It's not. It's not that the wrestling content is good. IWC. They don't give a fuck about the wrestling content. It could be the most butt ass, worst writing shit ever. As long as it's making money, they're going to keep with it.
That's true.
So, like, I just feel like what we have to do, and Bone Dad does too. He feels that way. As long as that crap is making money, they're going to keep plugging out the shit. So, like, I think when the fans start walking away and we start seeing a real reflection of the ratings or going, but I don't see AEW like overtaking the WWE anytime soon, regardless of what the IWC does.
I kind of wonder because I know that a lot of the conversation prior to AEW's even existence is that there's room for this lapsed fan, that where did all these 9 million viewers go who used to watch wrestling? And I wonder if AEW more than anything just proved that was not the actual argument, that there is no slew of lapsed fans dying for a product to come back to, that because I think the AEW is doing just fine. I think they'll be successful. I think they'll continue to make money. I think that their viewership for what it is, when it is exactly what the network wants and needs. So I don't see anything going wrong with it, but I also don't see this massive growth or influx of these missing fans. And I don't see this massive drop of people from WWE just not watching it anymore because AEW is in existence. I see both companies seem to have their viewership that stays, that minorly fluctuates week after week. And I think I wonder if what AEW more than anything has just proved that there is a set audience and this is them. I don't think that should be the career goals. I think their goals should obviously be to grow, but I wonder if it's just kind of more than anything.
They're only competing on one night too. They're only competing on Friday, correct?
They don't compete at all. They're never on at the same time.
No, I mean, like, they're only on at the same time.
They're never on at the same time.
Oh, they're not on at the same time.
No, they're never on at the same time.
WWE. Oh, I thought they were in the same time slot.
No,
on Fridays. Oh, okay.
So yeah,
okay. Well, that changes that even more.
Yeah, I think I just wonder. I think that both companies should strive to grow for sure, but I wonder if it just comes down to, hey, there's just isn't a diehard audience or a casual audience enough that's dying for something to watch. I think that there's people who watch sometimes and not other times, and I think that there's people who watch every week, and I don't think that that's changing based off of anything that either company is doing, to be honest, as of right now.
I wonder too, like, though, just like COVID and stuff, that maybe, maybe people aren't spending money on stuff that they feel like they can live without, and since wrestling might not have been a high priority thing, they don't get Turner or whatever, or they don't pay to get it because they're not going to go out of their way to get it. So basically, you don't have Turner, like Hulu Live or something, you're not going to be able to watch AEW. So like, I wonder if that just really reflects in the ratings for them. And I just think the diehard WWE fans are always going to be there, right? Like WWE fans marry WWE fans who have WWE, kids. And then that, I think that you feel like that grows, right? Because if it didn't, look at, like all these wrestlers that are from like wrestling stock as far as professional wrestling.
I think AEW will be the same though. I think AEW will have their AEW fans and their AEW girlfriends and all that. Well, I mean, maybe not.
Yeah, if they last, right?
I think they'll last. I think they're doing well enough to last, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing, I think, long term.
Me too.
I think for the business stuff, I always feel like the competition really can help an industry kind of grow. And that, like a lot of people talk fondly about the Monday Night Wars when you had WCW Nitro and against WWE Raw, and it really did bring out kind of the best of the WWE and and them too. And they were mismanaged, like from a managerial side. I just watched a doc on that actually.
That's cool.
Well, that's
in that whole thing. But like, so I just feel like that the product of wrestling or pro wrestling on TV is only going to be stronger with more competition.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and that's what Marsh and I were excited about when AEW was coming out. We're like, cool, let's, help push each other to the top. We were curious to see how, their direction and how they were going to do things.
Right.
And, there's some stuff that they do that I like, and, there's some that I don't, just like WWE. And I think that AEW will eventually get more of a foundation, and especially since they're mainly in Florida all the time, they're gonna try and get basically the territory, and they'll build from there. There's gonna be a lot of kids growing up that can go to AEW shows. Hey, let's go to the show, let's see this, and I think it's gonna grow from there, and I want them to as well, because it'll push WWE's hand to come out with a better product.
Yeah.
Micah says, doesn't hurt both companies that have billionaire owners. He's not wrong.
Yeah, it definitely helps. But the moral is, let's go back to focus. The point of it all is in regards to Kevin Owens, the good guys won. We won. We get to keep Kevin Owens, and all you idiots have to go watch your Kevin Owens free TV, your non-Kevin Owens content, like losers.
Yeah. Enjoy Adam Cole.
We're number one.
We're
number one.
Disappointed to see him go. I would have said like, I felt like as I've watched it, he's gotten better, and I would have been kind of. And you know what? I think of him as one of those wrestlers that maybe Vince doesn't like, because he doesn't look the type, right? Like, he's got a little bit of Stone Cold stick and stuff like that, but he's not the most athletic. He's kind of got a Mick Foley body type almost. I mean, he's got big ass arms and shit, like with a dinosaur bone tattoo and stuff like that. But like, I feel like there's not, he can kind of be the man's wrestler, right? A little hacksaw Jim Duggan. There's a lot of, obviously he's borrowed from a lot of the greats, and I know he uses the stunner as a finishing move and stuff like that. So, I didn't want to be judgmental about him. And in fact, I think I probably didn't like him because I knew he did the stunner as his finishing move. And then, like I said, though, I'm glad to see him stay, because I feel like he's put in some really good work in the last month or so. And I just feel like I hate to see all that just end.
Oh, yeah. Stone Cold, Kevin Owens called Stone Cold to ask if he could use the stunner before he ever used it.
No, I knew that. And that's why I didn't want to be too, judgmental on him. And I wasn't. I feel like I probably did have a little bit of a negative opinion of him in the back of my mind, if I'm being honest. But for the most part, I was like, hey, I want to give this guy a chance. And honestly, I like him, and he's won me over. And I like watching him.
Kev?
Micah says, hot take, Kevin Owens stayed the same. We've evolved to appreciate him. That's probably that. Ref Marsh and Kev would have to answer that one, but that sounds correct.
I think that would be I think that's a negative thing to say about a performer or an artist, that they've changed not at all in 16 years. That the fans just had to figure out how to like him for what he is. I think that he has grown a lot. I'm not saying that I didn't like him before, I definitely like him more and more every time I see him. Some of it obviously has to be due to appreciation of talent, but I do think that the take that the performer has not changed at all, at the heart of it is toxic, Micah. But it is. But honestly, I think that undermines the ability that Kevin Owens has to grow as a performer and to improve himself as an artist. And I think that he absolutely puts forth that effort all the time to be better than the last time. And I think he accomplishes that. And maybe part of our appreciation is seeing that in real time. Kev?
Well, I was just gonna say that WWE had to keep him, because he's one of the best guys on the mic, especially from the younger side of the talent pool. Because every time like Edge comes back or Randy, you forget how much of the mic is missing on some of these younger guys.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he's staying. And the only thing that I'm pissed off about, I'm still waiting for a Fight Kevin Fight shirt.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do have
Still
a Just
waiting
Keep
for
Fighting shirt. I love it.
Yeah. It's always Fight Owens Fight, Fight the World, Stun the World, whatever. I just need a Fight Kevin Fight shirt, damn it.
Yeah, he doesn't have one shirt that says Kevin on it. It's fucked
No,
up.
it's pissing me off. Steen, all the time. Fight, Steen, Fight.
Fight Kevin Fight. You want a Fight Kevin Fight shirt? Why don't you just make one and start going to all the shows and set a trend like the John 3.
Well, I made him that ironic shirt that he's wearing now, and it's gone swimmingly.
Mm-hmm.
It's going great.
We've sold out.
Did you sell out?
No.
But joking aside, I'm really excited to have Kevin Owens. If he indeed did sign a longer contract, I couldn't be happier because he's one of my absolute favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad he's staying.
Me too.
Yes.
Cheers.
Beard,
what was? Yeah, cheers.
The last
cheers
one
to the win.
Yeah. I don't care. I didn't care if we went to AEW, but I'm glad he's staying.
Don't say it like that. Go ahead.
Watch your mouth.
Will Bailey come back at day one was the last thing, and I think we talked a little bit about that already.
So, I think that it's more possible for her to. Although you're going to dispute the time frames because they're going to be so close, but I do think it's relative.
I'm just going to look it the fuck up.
If she was going to come back at day one, then you wouldn't have her come back on day one. You'd have her come back at Royal Rumble, which is a few weeks later.
Oh yeah, okay. That year, you know what? And I think I wrote Royal Rumble down, and then changed it to day one because I didn't know fucking anything about day one.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, oh, I bet Bailey comes back for Royal Rumble because I was telling you, and I don't know, I got emotional with the Edge's Royal Rumble because that's Edge came back to Royal Rumble this year, or whatever. And I watched it, and I got fucking emotional about it. I was like, oh, I'm kind of emotional. I wasn't even that an Edge and Christian fan, but I knew what that guy had been through personally. I had read a story or something when I wasn't following wrestling about what he had gone through physically and couldn't wrestle anymore. And he's a fucking nice Canadian guy, right? So of course you just want to like him. You're like, oh, he's really likable, You don't see that douchey Canadian guy. That's not part of the comp.
No, he's on AEW, the douchey one.
The douchey Canadian guy's on AEW. Two of them, actually.
Yeah.
Who's the douchey Canadian guy on AEW? I don't watch it, so I don't fucking know.
Jericho is one of them. Omega is another. Canadian guy.
Oh, Omega's a Canadian guy. You think Jericho's a douche though? He's always plays the heel. I think he's a good. I like Jericho.
Okay, well, you haven't seen what he's done in the last couple of years. Otherwise, it'll probably change your mind.
No, I like Jericho. He's a Kevin Smith guy. I think he's an authentic guy. Really, as a person, I like him. I don't know what he's doing as a, wrestling performing artist.
Did Marsh send you the Fozzy stuff?
No. Did you see
but
this?
I love a guy who likes his butt rock.
Hold on. Here's a hot take. First reaction. Go for it, Marsh. Tell him.
So this is what happened. So Chris Jericho. I'm just so happy about Kevin Owens. I can't stop thinking about him. KO. Let's see. I wonder if people
Mike, I
are
think you're
going to
wrong,
watch day
Mike.
one since it's on the holiday. Jericho is also American.
No, he may be an American citizen, but he was at one point a Canadian.
Yeah, he's got a Canadian
I
flag
know he's
tattooed on
Canadian.
himself. Nobody, no self-respecting American would do that.
What? Say that again?
I said Jericho has a Canadian flag tattooed on his arm. No self-respecting American would do that. So that's how you know he's
I
Canadian.
mean, if he served with a bunch of Canadians overseas, he may. I know a guy named
So where's
Patrick Francis Megan who lives there in Arizona, who's a recipient of the Bronze Star 7 times, 3 with Valor, and he served with a bunch of Canadians in Afghanistan. So,
he had a
could-
7-star match?
But does he have a Canadian tattoo? Canadian
I
flag
mean,
tattoo?
I don't like invade the man's freedom, so I don't know. He has a bunch of tattoos, I'm sure, but I'm not there staring at his arm or anything like a fucking weirdo.
You didn't ask
So
him to
I'm
like
just saying
undress
there
so you
may
can
be
inspect real
people
quick?
that have a Canadian
What-
flag tattoo on there.
What kind of friend are you?
Yeah, that's one of the first things that me and Kev do when we meet up is we strip down and check for new tattoos.
Well, I don't
Smell
have
each other.
any.
Smell each other's asses like dogs.
Like
Yeah.
dogs.
All right, good.
Hey, man.
100%. So this is what happened.
You recently?
So Beard, this happened on his European tour with Fozzy. Jericho got a non-COVID related illness that had him cancel.
Also known as an STD. Oh, sorry.
Well, here's the kicker. So he had to cancel 2 shows, but he did not want to cancel the London show. So due to the doctors telling him that they didn't want him to sing, which I think any person, doctor or otherwise, would tell him the same, that they didn't want him to sing for the remainder of the tour, he decided that he was going to continue the show and do what he called the Ultimate Fozzy Fan Fest, in which they would play their unreleased CD, or actually it's not unreleased, it's newly released CD.
Yeah.
They'll play it over the loudspeaker.
CD.
Oh yeah, it's a compact disc or flash drive of MP3s.
I saw this.
They're going to play it over the speakers while the band sits on stage and listens along. Lucky you. Then they'll have Jericho-approved questions to be answered by Jericho himself, curated by himself. And then, as the big finale, he's going to play 2 Fozzy songs, his 2 most popular songs, Judas and other one that no one heard of, where
Yeah, I know.
where the audience.
Jean was a huge fan of fucking Fozzy. She goes on the cruises and shit.
Oh yeah,
Don't you
doesn't like
know
the song.
her?
And then they're gonna have some guest vocalists because Jericho's not allowed to sing, and he said for doctor reasons, which we don't need to go into. We don't need to talk about why the doctors wouldn't want me singing, because why would a non-COVID related lung illness look suspicious? But he is gonna have a guest vocalist for these 2 songs, which is going to be you, the audience. So you can go to the Ultimate Fozzy Fan Fest, listen to a CD, listen to Jericho answer these specific questions he wants to answer, and then you're allowed to sing back at him like it's karaoke. Woo!
Dude,
Rock and roll!
I hope.
Before we go too far,
Wait, I
Rev-
hope that it's a sing along like those old Disney
Yeah.
VHSs.
with a
And
bouncy,
Jericho's head's the bouncy ball.
with the
to-
ponytail, the ponytail,
Yeah.
Jericho.
Yeah.
Top man bun ponytail. Micah says Ref Marsh supports invading freedom. Confirmed.
100%. 100%.
Fozzy uses floppy disks. Micah says.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna censor Micah's comment real quick. Hold on. Pull it down.
It's also disc is D-I-S-C, my friend. But anyway.
Did he say discs or dicks?
No, disc. Disc.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't say disc.
SK.
He said disc. Yeah.
Like
But
floppy disk.
I think I enunciated enough.
I
don't
mean,
know.
Jericho.
I'm a fine line between pretty drunk and pretty high. So it's one of those fucking things where it's like, I may not have enunciated it that well. So
That's a good point. Floppy disk and floppy dick are 2 different things, but similar.
I mean, Jericho's getting up there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and they're similar usefulness.
Yeah,
They're equally useful.
Had erectile dysfunction on the thing, which might have wrecked his whole fucking tour. I don't know the guy. I imagine those dudes like slay ass though, like if they want.
Well, maybe, but I do think though.
You clearly have never been to a Fozzy concert.
That's a good point. We went to a Fozzy concert, and I'll tell you, there's no reason for them to leave that bus.
There's no ass to be slayed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of dudes
wearing wrestling shirts.
Yeah, it's all dudes.
Pretty damn close.
It's like the worst male-female ratio since like the beaches in Normandy.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. But yeah, I just think. What do you think about the idea of going to a concert, buying a ticket for a show, and then getting there and being like, "Good news, everybody! We're gonna listen to a CD, and I'll let you sing at me." Oh, great take.
I mean, I'd be pissed if I bought Guns N' Roses, thing, and they said that.
I can't think of a single band I'd want to go see where it's like, don't worry, I'll be sitting on stage the whole time we listen to this. I'm like, no, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, dude, I kind of gotta applaud him for like being innovative, because motherfucker needs a bunny or something. Like,
I'm not innovative; it's self-obsessed. There's a difference.
He probably needs some money, Chris. I'm just saying, he probably needs some money.
If he needs the money, then fucking Tony Khan's fucking up. His whole job, Tony Khan's whole job is to pay him enough that we don't have to go through this shit.
Gas is going up, and those cruise lines.
Oh yeah, you gotta pay for that cruise gas.
Micah says, "I'm so young, sports beard. I shouldn't be liberated. Not for not knowing obsolete tech."
Yeah, he's not even old enough to drink, dude.
What?
Micah can't legally drink, so the fact he even knows what a floppy dick is remarkable.
Well, floppy disk.
He probably knows both.
You're the one bringing anatomy into the thing where we were talking about technology. What? Is anatomy and technology the same thing to you?
Well, one of them's more obsolete than the other, I think.
Okay. That might be your problem, sir. I'm just going to say.
I'm trying to get a Blue Chew sponsorship. Do you think we're almost there?
Yeah, Blue Chew. Yeah. I know Blue Chew. Big sponsor, Kevin Smith. Noted AEW fan because he's a Jericho. Him and Jericho are buddies. So yeah, man. Like I don't dislike Jericho. Like all that ripping you did, I'm like, the dude's a capitalist who happened to be born a socialist, and he's a wrestler. Which like you gotta make the money when you can make the money. And I feel like he even said when he left AEW, like he just felt like WWE didn't have a use for him. And honestly, like. I get it. Seth Rollins you could take Seth Rollins off the WWE and put up Jericho in there. I think he'd do equally as good as Seth Rollins, an older guy that isn't as technically gifted in the ring like Seth Rollins is still,
or literally gifted even as much on the.
Jericho's a great promo.
But that's a twofer. If you get rid of Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch is probably leaving.
Oh yeah, you don't want to risk that. Yeah, but I will say that I don't think.
Real quick. I was gonna say real quick. The thing that gets me with the whole Jericho Fozzy thing is if you didn't want to enjoy this Fozzy fan fest or whatever the fuck they called it, were they offering people their money back if they wanted to not attend?
Dude, I hope to God they do.
I think
because I would be livid. I'd be livid if they didn't let me have my money back when I found out that it's going to be a fucking CD play.
Yeah, they didn't cancel the show and you couldn't get your money back. I'd be fucking livid. Yeah.
I'm pissed.
Well, first of all, I'd wonder why the fuck you were living in Yorkshire or wherever the fuck he is in England.
London. He's in London.
Yeah, but he was doing He was doing the UK. Did like Scotland,
Yeah, but it was specifically the London show he's doing this for.
He canceled the other two shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
But the London show, which probably sold more tickets. He wasn't. He said no, we're not canceling. But if you don't give them the option of saying, "Hey, I don't want to go to a meet and greet," basically,
it's not even a meet and greet. It's a fucking like that's just it. If he said the Ultimate Fan Fest included meet and greet, photos and autographs, I'd be like, okay, well, there's something. But there's none. It's like you said, dude. If I found out I'm going to listen to a CD and then be afforded the opportunity to sing at them, yeah.
You're oddly upset about this thing that I just feel like is not a fucking big deal.
Well,
It is a big deal.
We were talking about the douchebaggery of
Yes.
said Jericho.
Yes.
And this proves it.
D-bag. Pick up your Pointless Aggression t-shirts at Pro Wrestling.
Have you met him personally? Did he like Rochambeau you or something when you met him? Like,
yeah,
well,
he was a cool guy. I've met him face to face, and he was a cool guy. And I've gone to 2 Fozzy shows, and I've enjoyed myself. But they were also playing music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They weren't CDs.
And you didn't pay pounds. You paid dollars.
Yeah, that's
pounds
real money.
Are way more than dollars. Meaning it's a lot more expensive for everything over in England. I think London's
exactly. But why do you think he canceled the other 2, but not the London one?
Because he can make motherfucking money.
Yeah, he can make more money. But if you don't say, hey, card subject to change type of shit, that's stupid. And I'd be
Dude, you can make more money not doing the thing they're paying him money to do. I paid you money to watch you play a song, and they
I
fucking
think we
better
need to
at
do some research on this.
But
I do think that I imagine that if because of him having to throw the show or whatever because of being I don't know, whatever his medical thing is. I don't care. It's his personal business. I imagine
it's floppy dicks.
Yeah.
Floppy disks.
That's why they can't play.
Anyway, Rayo, I got you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is
rock starts in the pants.
The Blue Pill Express.
Okay, whatever. I'm done. I don't need to make it. Fuck you guys. Fuck both of you. You fucking interrupting fucks. Marsh is angry that he couldn't go to the Fozzy Fan Fest. Marsh can't sing karaoke with 50 other Fozzy's biggest fans, and that makes him live in it.
Yeah, when I had to go, that asshole had to sing to me.
I love Micah. Fuck both of you. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking. It's like, I'll just say this. Like, why did we spend any time on this? Like, I didn't care about it. Why do you gotta it's not associated with the promotion or anything. It's just Jericho selling himself. Like, who cares? Like, good for him. Fucking sing his own shit back to him and then fucking whatever.
But that was the problem is that they didn't have. Well, we don't know, but
yeah, we have no fucking basis for this argument at all. We don't know if they offered the money back. You guys are fucking making this whole argument about something we don't know.
That's because we're journalists. That's what journalists do in wrestling.
Not journalists on this one. You're just fucking morons.
That's what the journalist is in wrestling.
Yeah, okay,
and Beard, you brought up the douchebag from Canada.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Micah says, I'm going to get Sports Beard to watch AEW at this rate. No, you're not, Micah. You know why? I'll tell you right now, dude. You can pay me money. I'm not going to miss hockey. And I watch hockey more than anything. And that takes precedence over anything. And in fact, in fucking 30 minutes, I'll be watching hockey while we're doing this show. So, like, that's how much I love hockey. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't have the time for AEW. I don't. I have a watch schedule. And between my wife working and the shit, every time we get a show we have to collectively watch together, I have to work around her fucking bullshit schedule of working and making a shit ton of money and paying for this lavish lifestyle that I've become accustomed to. So I am fucking livid if I have to watch a goddamn show with her. Okay. So live sports takes precedence over fucking everything. And I'm sorry, AEW, I don't like you enough or know enough about you or care about all the WWE guys that are over there. I don't know anything about. Like, I miss Daniel Bryan. I know a little bit about his story. I knew he was from Washington, which is kind of from my neck of the woods and stuff where I grew up. But, like, there's nobody over there I'd be like, oh, I know CM Punk a bit, but I watched him fight the UFC because I'm a UFC fan. I watched the pay-per-view this weekend. I actually watched the fucking rednecks punch each other.
Wait a second. You didn't see CM Punk fight in UFC. You saw him get his ass kicked in UFC.
Well, I saw him. Hey, dude, have you laced up the gloves in the UFC, Kev? Then shut the fuck up.
Not in the UFC.
Seriously.
I'll put some gloves on.
Shut up. Like, the dude went and fought professionally, man. And UFC paid him some money.
Yeah, they were very upset about how much money they paid him.
Had a blueprint with the fucking wrestler coming over. It just happened to be the first guy happened to be the fucking,
actually good.
Like the fucking beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. I'm just saying, like, by the way, huge UFC fight upset this weekend too. Like Amanda Nunes.
Oh, Nunez, that
plus
no
one, like 1,100. Some dude bet $330,000 that she would win just to win 30 grand. Yeah, he lost $330,000.
Nice.
What a fucking moron! Like, you never bet a plus 1,100 favorite. Why would you bet that?
Yeah.
Who
like,
won that fight?
Anybody is going to lay any money is going to lay it on the underdog. So if you bet $100, you won $1,100 on
Pena.
the Venezuela vixen Juliana
Pena. Yeah.
She beat Amanda Nunes, who had never she had lost early in her career, but she had just basically mowed through.
So she lose the title?
Yeah, she fucking got choked out in the second round.
Wow.
Nunez was plus 1,000.
Well, yeah, I heard 1,100. I heard 1,100.
Oh, really? Yeah. They say this is the second biggest upset in UFC behind Holmes knocking out Rousey. And I think it's bullshit. I think it's the exact opposite because no one gave Pena a shot, and there were people at least in the Holmes corner during that match.
Yeah. Micah says a bunch of other stuff about AEW, and then he says he lost the last one fight, Kev. He has lost one fight, Kev. I don't know who he's talking about.
Oh, because CM Punk, because the other one got disqualified because the dude he fought liked pot, basically.
Well, I think they've done away with the marijuana thing, though. Like, that was dumb. Like, that is not performing enhancing, and it's legal in, 35
Well,
states.
truly, I don't think it was pot. I think it was the thing that all the college kids love, the ADHD.
Oh, like Adderall?
Adderall, there you go.
That's a banned substance, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that do that like it heightens focus and stuff. So Micah says Oliveira over Poirier hurt my soul. Yeah, it hurt my soul too because I love Poirier. I love Dustin. I was rooting for him. I almost put 500 on Pena. I'm so angry. Yeah, because you would have won a shit ton of money. That would have been like $5,000 in our toxic friend Micah Pellegrini's pocket. Micah, you're a dumbass. Matt said being GSP is more shocking. No shit. I'll tell you what, dude. I watched a lot of Juliana Pena's fights. I watched the Ultimate Fighter she was on. She is a good looking, badass fighter. And I said, man, I would not count out her in this fight. But because gambling's not legal here, I couldn't put $10 fucking on it. Because if I did, I would have won $1,000. Like, shit, man. Like, that's you could burn $10 and be like, I've lost $10. Like,
I was duck hunting, and me and my buddy brought up because gambling's legal here in Arizona. I brought it up.
I'm fucking gonna move to Arizona. Is what's gonna happen.
And I almost put $5 on it. I was like, I don't want to lose $5, whatever. And in hindsight, once again, I should have, but. It's whatever.
So Micah had made a comment, and this kind of rolls into something you wanted to talk about, Kev. He said to Sports Beard, you don't have to watch it live. He goes, just have fun watching Dynamite, Rampage, Dark Elevation, BTE, Sammy's Vlog, and the Cody reality show every week, month after month, and then you'll be caught up. But I know that you wanted to mention.
I see what you did there, Micah. Yeah.
So, but you wanted to mention because Kev was out doing different huntings of ducks and such, and he hasn't been able to keep up with everything going forward. And you wanted to bring up a cool point. Yeah, you did. Fucking bring up the good point you talked about. You want to talk about? Bring it up.
No, So, I haven't watched since basically Survivor Series. Life has just been crazy, busy, stuff like that, and. I watched this week so I could be on today's show, and for the first time ever, I appreciated the recaps that they did that I used to hate all the time.
Yeah.
I would watch it. I'm like, why are you guys wasting? Especially when you watch it on Hulu, you only got an hour and a half of Raw on Hulu, and they show the recaps of shit. It's like, fuck, just watch the last episode.
Yeah.
So I actually appreciated all this stuff, and it got me thinking on how AEW says, hey, we're not geared to the casual viewers. And WWE keeps saying, hey, in case you missed this is happening because of that. And I appreciated it 100%.
It's super helpful. And
yeah,
as a casual viewer, I agree with you. And I think I'm all for it.
I used to hate it. I used to hate it and complain about it. Yeah.
I missed Smackdown and texted Ref Marsh, oh, I can't believe I missed Smackdown. He's like, oh, you can watch it on Fox now or whatever. And I watched it. I did watch it. And I'm glad I did because there was some funny shit I would have missed, you know, and I missed all the, but if I had missed it and I didn't get the gist of all of it because my mind's always going elsewhere. So when I watched it, I missed shit. So I like the recaps just because I didn't remember everything I saw.
Yeah.
And so that helps. You know, if you're a forgetful fucking stoner, it's like, oh shit, I don't remember, man. Go Raiders. Like, oh, I'm not even a Raiders fan. But like, I just like, so the whole thing is like, I like the recap. Like, it's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I was thinking about that too. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the way AEW does it, it's like perfect for YouTube clips. Like everything they do is just clipped, and then nothing kind of goes back. So it's kind of makes it easier to digest that way. But yeah, different methods. But I thought it was cool. I thought you wanted to bring it up.
Yeah. I enjoyed it for once.
Yeah, just funny because a lot of times they start recapping stuff. I'm all like, I better run and get a drink.
Yeah. No, I used to, you know, when I would watch it, I'd skip through it. I was like, I watched this last week, you know, this and that. This is stupid. And then I understood, hey, if you miss an episode, you don't necessarily have to go back and watch it. You can just watch the current one and they'll catch you up.
Which is also kind of a cool concept because then it's also like, if people feel like there's already too much content, it's like, well, how am I supposed to squeeze in last week's 3-hour show plus this week's 3-hour show? They're like, no, just watch this week. We'll catch you up. You're fine. Like, you don't have to go back if you don't want to, if you don't have time. What was that, Beard?
Yeah.
No, I was going to ask Kev, like, why do you go duck hunting? You like duck?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? You eat duck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get any extra duck?
Not extra. I've got a couple.
Good.
But if you smoke duck, delicious.
Okay, yeah. I never liked duck growing up. I fucking hated it. We used to have this church thing called the Duckaroo where they cooked duck, and I was like, the only thing I didn't eat was the duck. It was fucking awful. It's like a greasy. It's so terrible. If you don't cook it right, it's awful.
Yeah, we're gonna duck this year again.
But that's any meat.
I know. We still gotta buy a duck. Well, that's what I'm saying. Kevlar went out duck hunting. He's not even gonna give us one of his ducks. We gotta go buy our own fucking duck now.
Did Steph tell you that one of our earliest dates, I took her to this Simon and Seifert's here in Anchorage, which is kind of a fancy restaurant. I never eat there now because it's not locally owned, but I recommended the duck to her, and then she goes, "Oh, I hate this," and I go, "Yeah, I fucking hate duck. I would never eat it." And she was like, "Why'd you recommend it for me?" So, Mike asked, does Kev roll up duck doobies and smoke it? Well, no, but, you know, the sports beard probably does. I'll just say. I'm not much of a smoker, actually, Micah. I don't touch the shit. I can't do any. I'm a terrible smoker. I can't smoke anything. I smoke cigars. I can smoke cigars well. But because you don't have to inhale. But I'm not coordinated enough to inhale, so I was never good. I could smoke anything ever. In the military, I didn't smoke. I dipped. You know, when you're in like the 36-hour patrol base playing laser tag with some other, and you're just like, I don't give a shit. They can have this area that I don't give a fuck about in the middle of nowhere, Alaska. You know, you're like, you get so good at sleeping behind your weapon. You know, you look like you're awake, full scary, but you're really not. You know, I'm awake, Sarge. I don't know what you're talking about. I've been awake. They kicked you in the head like 2 times before that, though. Well, I sorry, Sarge. I just let you kick me in the head. Anyway, I digress.
Let's see. I'm gonna roll through some of the SmackDown stuff to see what's going on over there.
Yeah, I don't have any more news.
The Xia Li. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any more news either.
Oh,
so I
yeah,
thought we were just
we
getting
did
some
talk
stuff.
about that.
What about Xia Li making her debut there, saving Naomi from the imminent beatdown from Natalya, Shayna, and Sonya? And first off, Shayna, and Natalya is a pretty cool fucking faction already. But now you got Naomi and the Protector Xia Li
Can I say this? If they make a baby face out of a Chinese wrestler, it'll be the greatest fucking feat ever, especially given the climate. I'll just say that right now. I like the debut though, and I'm rooting for it. I don't think it's gonna work.
I don't think humans are that simplistic to just go Chinese, therefore evil, but it has been the way of wrestling for a long time to say Russian, therefore evil, so it's hard to say. But you might be right. I don't know if they've ever had a Chinese babyface before. Micah does say, it's okay, Sports Beard. I'm so young. I've never seen pot before. It's illegal in high school, which is true. He's only seen cartridges and vapes.
Yeah, which is so terrible for you. Yeah. But weed is legal in Arizona, too. That's another thing. I'm like, man, Arizona, Arizona is looking better and better. I mean, we may be neighbors someday. I mean, like, I've had my fill of these -2 days, man.
Nice. Kev, what do you think about Xia Li's debut?
Yeah, I liked it. I'm just curious to see where they're going to go with it. Are they going to make her and Naomi a tag team?
Dude, that AI
That'd be cool.
or AR, the fucking lightning on her.
That was cool as shit. I wasn't going to say it. I thought her debut was actually fucking cool. And I'm so sick of
The only thing I didn't like is it made her look like Raiden.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's why it was cool, bitch.
And it's like
was
Chun-Li and Raiden had a baby and it's Xia Li.
Good.
Fuck yeah. Oh my god,
great.
yeah. That's perfect. Make that lore. Make that lore. That's perfect.
That even sounds cooler.
Yeah, that's better now. You made it better.
Cooler,
actually.
Kev. You're not ruining it. You're making it more cool.
Yeah, that was way cooler than I even thought it.
Now we're gonna write fan fiction about this fucking storyline.
Yeah, 100%.
So my dad was in a tournament for his life.
Yeah, 100%.
My mom was fighting in the streets.
Yeah, 100%.
Knives that can bust through the fucking walls of Jericho.
Yeah.
But you get kicked so fast you couldn't see your foot.
So good. Now, Kev, you missed a couple of weeks. Did you see any of the comic book style vignettes they had for Xia Li?
Yeah. I did.
I think so because it reminded me of Aleister Black's Tales from the Dark Side or whatever.
Wait, don't put that in the fridge.
Beer's supposed to go in the fridge.
Well, because it's like freshly cooked meat. If she puts it in the fridge,
Producer lady, what the fuck are you doing? This isn't producing.
Hey, keep it down. She's gonna beat him.
Leave it out of the fridge so that way I don't have to try to reheat it and make it soggy, rather than just be good.
Blink twice, Marsh. If you're safe, blink twice. If you're safe, blink twice. If you're
I'm definitely gonna get hit for that one, guys. I'm definitely getting hit for that. She's like walking towards weapons right now.
Safe.
If
you're safe.
If the feed cuts out, guys.
Oh my god.
Nothing.
I'm calling 911, motherfucker. Kev, you need to call 911. You're in Arizona. My friend, Ref Marsh. Who the fuck is that guy? Oh, we're there all the time.
Yeah, he's already there.
Yeah. We have never on speed dial.
Did you see
his wife? There should have been a restraining order a long time ago. I'm girlfriend. Sorry, girlfriend.
You're just bad at paperwork. Kev, what did you see any of the vignettes, or should I send those to you later? Because they were just pretty neat.
I think I saw like maybe the first one. Like I said, it reminded me of Aleister Black's like.
Yeah.
Which they did away. Like, didn't they get rid of the guy? I didn't get that either. Hey, I gotta ask you about that though. They've been doing that Indian wrestler, and I'm sorry I can't think of his name.
Veer.
But I saw him wrestle before.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like very nonchalantly being like a bottom card like thing, and I was like, why are they hyping this guy? Are they giving him one last push to see if he sticks, and then if he doesn't, like, bye-bye, buddy? Is that?
I don't know. Here's the weirdest part. If you look up that dude on Wikipedia, you ever heard of the Disney movie with John Hamm called $1 Million Arm?
Yeah, I think I watched it. If it's a baseball movie, I watched it.
It's a baseball movie, yeah. That's about him. His name is Ring Sinka.
The guy that scouted the Dodgers too. I think it was the Dodgers.
He's the actual baseball player. There's baseball cards with him on it, throwing baseballs. He's a pitcher.
Why aren't they hyping that though?
They also changed his name, which is the other weird bit. Is that it's like if you have like like, there's a lot of times they change people's name from the indies and stuff, and I get it, and I understand the rebranding. But this dude literally has a Disney movie about him.
Yeah.
He's got baseball cards. You can find him. Why are you changing his name when he has fame behind him that you could push, and a fucking feel-good movie that's so good that they made a goddamn Disney movie about this dude's life? Like, that's a weird one to me. Rinku Singh is his name.
Yeah. I didn't know any of that stuff about him. That's why I was like, why are they hyping this guy? I thought I'd seen him wrestle, and he seemed like a mid-card guy forever to me.
Yeah.
I was like,
they gave him kind of that, like, almost aboriginal painting on his head.
You just told me makes me want to see him in, like, main event shit. Like,
yes.
Like, they are literally fucking it up with this guy.
100%, dude, because that's what I mean. Like, if you said, hey, here's a dude who was such an inspirational baseball player, they made a movie about him, and guess what? His dream is to become a wrestling champion. Then I'm going, oh my God, this guy is incredible. But for this, they're just all like, here's a dude from India who seems to be lost on his way to Raw. You're like, no. If you want me to be behind the guy, just tell me his normal life story. It's incredibly compelling.
Yeah, right. They don't need to. It's actually the shit they should be using. Micah says, by the way, are we accomplices for Marsh's relationship?
Witnesses.
Yeah, we're probably fucking material witnesses, Micah. Better not.
We'll have to testify at the trial.
Yeah. He mentioned broken plates once or twice on the live wrestling show on, what's that? What's the IWC? Can you explain this? Do you have 259,000 hours? No? Then we probably can't.
Can you explain the IWC to us? It's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah. Do you know the deepest, darkest pits of hell? No? Then I probably can't explain it to you.
Yeah. So Xylee's doing anything that's awesome. Tony Storm and Charlotte Flair.
Oh, God. Jesus
I read an
Christ,
article
man.
the other day about how good Charlotte Flair was. I wanted to puke. I wanted to puke in my pants. It was horrible.
So, I haven't watched wrestling in almost a month.
And you didn't miss Charlotte Flair?
No, not at all. Like, she keeps getting worse and worse. She's degressing like a cancer patient.
It looks like the most unwilling participant in a wrestling match I've ever fucking seen. It's like, I am not getting paid any money to do this.
It's so terrible. It looks like she's doing it on purpose. Like, she wants to be.
She is doing it on purpose. There's no way.
But then she's missing spot after spot, and then like pushing or smacking the other person, like they miss their spot. And there's so many idiots out there, stupid idiots that believe like, oh, Toni Storm fucked up. She was out of spot. You know, she was in the wrong spot, and it's Charlotte by far.
That's not what I saw. I saw another uncooperative Charlotte. Hey, did you see the meme girl though?
To me, Toni Storm looked like she was doing the best she could in a really shitty situation. I thought Charlotte looked really bad. One of the things too, notably, Charlotte tried to pin Toni while Toni was face down on the mat. Her shoulders were up.
Yeah.
I actually
and Charlotte went for the pin.
That was Toni. That was Toni that did that.
No,
it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
No, because Charlotte did the moonsault, and then Toni rolled, and then she did the moonsault.
Yeah, Toni was on her. Okay, that was. Yeah, it was Toni that was on her belly. I actually thought that might have been on Toni on accident, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, I remember that part of the match.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things where she. Yeah, go ahead, Kev.
You know, the other realization that I saw after watching Raw is, remember that episode of South Park where they're complaining that The Simpsons did it first?
Yeah. Yes, I do know that one.
I feel, after not watching for a minute and then watching Charlotte, I feel that, like, Becky is doing everything that Charlotte's supposed to be doing. And, like, I almost want Butters to be coming out every time Charlotte does something to say Becky did it better.
Yeah.
Because every time, like, Becky did it better. Yeah, like, I see Charlotte do something. I was like, what the fuck's that? Then I see Becky almost doing something identical. And I'm like, oh, Becky did it better.
Yeah.
And like I said, I want Butter
That
to
is
come out
so
there and be
true.
like,
So true.
Becky did it better. Try
Yeah.
again.
Oh yeah. Yo, and think about this too. The Liv Morgan and Becky story is going fantastically. And now
So
they have
what
the
I
angry they have the angry Liv Morgan girl, and now they got the angry Becky girl, that girl right
Yeah.
behind. And how lucky was that to just have someone in camera shot right behind Liv Morgan in a man
better
shirt
pay them fucking
holding
girls.
the doll with
Oh,
a
yeah.
sign that says the man's #1 fan, and she's like, "Bam!"
Yeah. I'll tell you
WWE
though, the one with Becky Lynch winning and the Liv fan is the fucking goat.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is the goat of disappointed wrestling memes.
WWE better get those girls together so they can watch a match. And
Oh, yeah.
I think you tweeted
Like-
that, and we talked a little bit about that on Twitter. And I think that was you and I
Lance-
back and forth.
Lance Storm
Marsh,
said that.
you two.
I think it was
What?
Lance Storm had tweeted something along the lines of like, that
No, I'm talking
WWE,
Kev.
if they know what's good for them, that they'll put these two girls in a watch along for day one.
Okay, that's who it was. Okay, yeah, I thought it was somebody. Yeah, thank you, Ref Marsh. Maybe you pointed it out to me on Twitter.
I probably tweeted it.
I when I saw that, I was like, yeah, like they have to make something out of this, because those fucking I mean, dude, you guys know, like, I don't know if you guys saw the hockey guy that was behind the net and tossed the puck over the net, and the guy in midair scored a goal.
Yeah, that was great.
Ducks. Trevor Zegras is the guy that made the pass. He's a fucking
Yeah.
badass U.S. kid. In fact,
Well,
last
they-
year,
they
I
thought
love
he
this
was
kid.
doing
Last
the
year at the
Michigan
World
thing.
Juniors, he goes, "Yeah, we didn't think Canada was all that good, and they beat them 2-0 for the gold medal. Like, in their country, nut stomping Canada, like the greatest thing ever." And I'll just tell you, I love this fucking kid, Trevor Zegras. I'm gonna be a fan of his forever. And now he plays for the Anaheim Ducks, and he scored one of the most ridiculous goals. Within like a day, 50 million people had seen it. So I wonder about that meme for WWE for that girl. Like, I bet a lot of people saw that shit. So I know memes are more popular than anything. So hopefully it helps grow the sport.
100%. And, you know, like, Nickelodeon's in on a lot of WWE stuff. And, like I said, you would think they would get these girls together for something. Maybe not Nickelodeon, because that's the rival to Disney, and Disney owns Fox type of thing. But you would think that they would get them together for something.
But if Disney owns Fox and the WWE is on Fox, like,
Yeah,
it's
but
a
you can also
collab.
still all that is outside of our scope anyways, because Xavier Woods is hosting a show on Nickelodeon like this year, so. So
Well, Cena's on Nickelodeon like every other month, it seems like.
Cena's on everything all the time. He's out literally on every channel.
Did you see
the best
the?
part of my life.
I
Mad
wish I could
Libs?
tune in, but I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Did you see
I
the
can't see
John
it.
I
Cena?
can't see him. Can't
Yeah.
see him is what I meant.
Can't see me. You did not see Cena on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, where he
Couldn't.
did Mad Libs.
I couldn't.
I think so.
It
But
was
I
fun.
always thought it was Fallon.
It was funny. You should check it out.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Everything he does is good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, and it made, honestly made me miss John Cena a bit,
Oh yeah, all the time.
because he's
Uh,
like the ultimate babyface.
But I'm loving the Becky and Liv back and forth stuff. I think they're doing such a tremendous job with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good. I agree.
Both of them. What do you think? I want to get your opinions on this though. Otis getting this win over Matt Riddle, and then sort of punking out Randy Orton. What do you think they're doing with Otis? Because it seems really. I feel like. Here's
They
the weird
kinda
bit with
been
Otis.
Haven't they been underutilizing him a bit? Don't you think?
For sure. But you don't know the history that Kevlar understands. The idea that this guy was so over as a goofy, funny Chris Farley type, and they've turned him into this serious thing that they're starting to push. My concern is everyone knows that is just not who he is. So they've really moved away from the be who you are turned up to 11, and they're like, be who you're not turned up to 9. And it just makes me wonder how it's going to go. Like, I got no problem with it. I like what he's doing, but there's part of me that just understands that it's not 100% authentic. Kev, what do you think?
I don't know. I go back and forth because I know the goofy Otis and stuff like that. I think if they said, hey, you know, you're going to be the serious Otis, that's fine. I liked when he was donning the Vader gear and stuff like that. I think if he, you know, if there was something out there saying, hey, I was just trying to find, you know, a place, but, you know, all I had to do was just kick ass and I could do, you know, something like that, I think would be great.
Yeah.
But seeing the goofy Otis and stuff like that, like, I like the goofy Otis. Now he's serious, that's fine. Now he's trying to be a badass. I think you need the clear cut, like, hey, I was only doing that shit to secure my job.
Do you
look who I was stuck with, this piece of shit from ASU.
That's a good point. I do think I feel like Otis right now is going through Big E in reverse. Where Big E was told to be so serious for so long, and then he became goofy. I feel like he started goofy, and they said, we have to get you serious so people can see you're a badass before you can go back to goofy. Like, I feel like they're trying to reset him.
Yeah.
Like, if he was Nintendo, they're blowing in his cartridge right now.
Did Kev just reference someone going to ASU?
Yeah.
So did Chad Gable go to Arizona State University?
No.
No, his old partner, Tucker, went to
Tucky.
ASU.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I saw you laugh and then snicker, and then I was like, wait a minute, and then you went on some fucking diatribe, and you're laughing and grinning, and I was like, well, okay, what did I miss about Arizona State? Like, I'm not an alumnus. Did you go to U of A then? Are you a Tucson guy? Arizona?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I don't fucking know where you live, dude.
Oh,
I live in Arizona. I can only see like half of a purple poster that's behind your head. It looks like a rock poster, actually.
It's Undertaker.
It's Undertaker.
Oh, is it the Taker? Oh, nice. Yeah, fix your camera angle, dude, if you want me to see it. So. No, worse. Now I can see lower. You need to move it.
Oh,
back.
I just pushed it up.
It's just the underjunk. It's all good.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah,
I don't know.
It's what it feels like. It feels like a hard reset for Otis, which I think is kind of interesting and might be cool to play. Because I agree with you. He's been underutilized. He's an incredible talent. He's so good. But maybe
he's stronger than shit. Like
yeah.
He's a human meatball.
Him and Bobby Lashley would be a fun one.
I almost not remember Dino Bravo.
Yes.
Remember when they used to do the bench press challenges and stuff like that? I almost want to see something like that with Tucker. I mean, not Tucker. He's unemployed like most ASU graduates.
Yeah.
Otis,
yeah.
I love this light. It's just fucking epic. Because I didn't go to a university, so like
we can tell.
I mean, I went to Full Sail. So me and Chad Gable are alumnus. But like, but I didn't get a degree. You know, I did 25 years of the school of hard knocks, my man, military, and like I just love like rivalries and stuff because I'm not vested. I love seeing people ruin their fucking lives for a sporting event when it really doesn't mean anything. Your life is not better if your team wins a championship unless you are said owner of championship team and you get the money that comes with it.
His life is better or worse with it. That's why I like when things like so this past weekend my understanding is a couple of Cardinals got injured who could very definitively hurt them throughout the rest of the year. It made me very happy to know how upset Kev was going to be for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, because you're a Chargers fan and you know fucking misery. Because if you can't spell misery without Chargers.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kev, I was a little bummed out for you guys. I saw DeAndre Hopkins is out for the rest of the year today.
Well, they said he might come back for the playoffs.
He's not coming back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
I'm just hoping that means Larry Fitzgerald comes back because he's not officially retired.
Oh my God, that would be sick. And then the Cardinals win a Super Bowl with Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry
Oh,
Legend?
like Michael
Yeah.
Stan style coming back. One more year. Let's do it. Let's beat the 18-0 New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Go Cardinals. I just got a team I'm rooting for this year because the Giants are a goddamn fucking dumpster fire. And it's a joke to watch.
Dude, can you
I'm going
imagine?
for the Cards. Go Cards.
Can you imagine the
Fucking
Cardinals are
Chargers.
under, but they have the ball. There's only a couple minutes left, and then all of a sudden you hear it. The fog comes up, and Larry Fitzgerald entrance music plays, and he comes running out into the field. It's so great.
That dude, that would be fucking dreadlocks. Comes out like the demon. Pat McAfee's like, that's the demon. That's the demon. That's the Finn Balor. That's the demon.
Right? You just hear that. Dung, dung.
Yeah.
Larry's back. Ah!
Gung, gung.
But anyways. So, going back to the U of A ASU rivalry. Sports Illustrated did a poll a couple years ago on the biggest rivalry in sports.
Sports Illustrated on a pole match?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It was like Yankees and Red Sox. Shit, I'm blanking on rivalries. But
Packers
anyways,
and Bears?
yeah, Packers and Bears.
They said Arizona State.
Yeah, well, they said Arizona because they polled fans and they said, how likely would you be rooting for the other team, you know, this and that. And they went back and forth. And the only rivalry that said, would you ever root for the other team, that had a 0% was Arizona and Arizona State. Everyone that they polled said, there's no chance in hell I'm rooting for that team.
You know, I know you're right. I always go to every time I go to a vacation spot, I'll buy a local area college hat at Lids, and I'll wear it around town so I look like a local.
Yeah.
And I bought a U of A. I bought a Wildcats hat in Phoenix, and everywhere I went, people were like, oh, what about Arizona State? I'm like, dude, it's just a fucking hat. Like, I didn't go to U of A. It's a hat.
Yeah,
I
oh no.
was like, oh, I fucked that shit up. So the next time I ever go to Phoenix, I got to buy Arizona State.
No,
I mean, I wore my Dodgers hat fine, though. I was like, go you Dodgers! The Dodgers!
Well, exactly. And that was like, yeah, Dodgers, Giants, like every rivalry, they polled them. The only one that said there was 0% chance of rooting for the other ones, you know, Michigan, Ohio State, everything, every rivalry you can think of.
Yeah,
The
Michigan,
biggest
Ohio
one-
State's pretty bad. Michigan,
Yeah.
Ohio will black out M's on like road signs.
Oh yeah,
That's how
it's a
big that
speed
fucking rivalry
Lee
is.
it sign. There's no M on
I
the
will
speed
tell
limit.
you, dude. If we want to talk rivalries, the fucking Alabama Auburn thing, and everybody goes, "Oh yeah, why do you think that?" I go, "Some random
The Iron
dude
Bowl?
that roots for Alabama fucking poisoned the 300-year-old oak trees that the Auburn fans used to throw toilet paper on if they beat Alabama." And look, like the rivalry, like it's been Alabama's dominant. Like they're the college, they're still like they're gonna probably win the national championship again. Like I think it's Saban's 5,000th
I think it's Georgia's,
national
but go
championship.
ahead.
So I'm just saying, like, well, this NIL thing is starting to even the shit out. So Alabama's days are numbered, and I love it. Finally, the college kids are getting some fucking money in their pocket that they fucking
The
deserve
comeuppance.
forever. But anyway, that being said, I will say this. That Alabama-Auburn rivalry is straight fucking crazy. Then this dude commits an illegal crime, calls into a college football radio show to tell him about it. You know what I did, Tammy? I poisoned the trees. This fucking dude literally killed the trees in Auburn, Alabama because he hated the team so much. Because they put a Scam Newton jersey on Paul Bear Bryant's statue. So I'll just say, like, college football in the South rivalry is nuts. And I think Alabama-Auburn's the worst. Because I'm sure people have been killed for that one. Like, literally. I'm sure you can look it up on the internet.
Speaking of internet, we can also look up raw results, like we were trying to talk about.
This is what happens when you
Fucking
get you
butthurt
guys
or
that love
something?
sports.
I mean, I was just hoping that our Wrestling on the Rock show might have wrestling involved in it, but I guess if we're not going to go that way today, I don't have a ton else. What was I had something up too I was hoping to talk about, but we're just about out of time anyways. Yeah.
You feel like time slot?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like go through every little bit of everything. The Rhea Ripley stuff.
One thing I will bring up once again, since I didn't watch since Survivor Series, that stupid bullshit main event on SmackDown was just Survivor Series.
Yeah,
Plus
that
the
was
New Day.
weird.
I fucking
Yeah.
hated that shit.
The Who's the Best Tag Team had no place there. It made no sense. I didn't understand why they do it or why they
They
did
brought
that
out
one.
the wild card rule. Meh.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was stupid. The other thing I didn't like on Raw was, Lashley had to go through the gauntlet
Yeah.
to get on the 4-way, and it wasn't a gauntlet. It
You
was,
didn't like
hey,
it?
have them.
Oh, yeah.
No. I was okay with it, but it wasn't back to back to back like a true gauntlet.
Like,
Yeah.
he didn't actually have to wrestle. There was all these technicalities to it.
No. Beyond that,
Well,
so
there was
gauntlet match.
breaks in it.
Yeah. What sports doesn't know is that what a gauntlet match is in WWE.
I got it.
In a
Right,
gauntlet
consecutive.
match. Yeah, consecutive. The person stays in the ring and the next person comes out, and then that match is over. The next person's coming out, and they stay in the ring until they've gone through them all. I thought it was a little weird to have it broken up that way too. I didn't hate it. Did they try to call it a gauntlet? I didn't catch them calling it a gauntlet.
No, I don't remember them saying gauntlet. I said
I thought Graves mentioned it as a gauntlet.
Oh,
Okay.
he probably did because he fucking sucks.
You might have messed up.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, going through the matches, I thought Bobby Lashley did awesome. He looked incredible.
Oh, I'm sorry. Adam Graves did not Twitter block me. I was thinking of Adam Pierce. Adam Graves is fine.
Yeah, no,
Adam
Corey
is-
Graves.
Corey Graves is cool.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's good. Let's see. But yeah, I thought the Bobby Lashley stuff was awesome. I thought it also ended up having a lot of interactions between Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Big E, which was.
I have a question. I have a question for you on that. Did you think for a second we weren't going to get a fatal 4-way?
No, it was going to happen.
I thought there was a possibility that they might try to make Big E look strong enough to keep someone out of it, but I was pretty certain we were going to end up with a fatal 4-way. I just thought they could potentially. I thought the potential for them leaning into Big E and saying that Bobby was able to get through Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, but Big E is so dominant he was able to hold him off. I thought the possibility was there, but I didn't think it was a big possibility. No. 70-30 at best. You know what I mean?
Ugh, those are
I didn't
bigger odds than me.
second we weren't getting a fatal 4-way.
Yeah, that was Amanda Nunez odds right there. I thought it was 100%.
That we were getting a fatal 4-way?
Yeah.
I think that they were like, oh yeah, we totally fucked up and forgot to put Bobby Lashley into this mix. Because he
Well, I think
argument that the title was won from him kind of. And you know what I saw? And I don't know, I wanted to ask you guys about this too. I'm so glad Marsh got to this. So sorry our fucking college football thing interrupted you. But I'll just say, oh, by the way, University of Montana beat Montana State. Go Grizz! Anyway,
Big Sky.
Yeah, I'll just say, I liked the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, they, not for a second, should Bobby Lashley not have been included in this group. And it was kind of glossed over that Big E sort of won the title from him in sort of a not the most, babyface way. But I kind of felt like, and I don't know if you guys thought this is what I wanted to ask you was, did you feel like the fans actually were like, oh, Bobby's a babyface. We're kind of on Bobby's side. I felt like they were sort of rooting for Bobby. And I think you could add actual real matches over these kind of stupid disqualifications and I think the fan would have just instantaneously turned the fans into rooting for Bobby.
Well,
I kind of heard it anyway.
I think Seth and Bobby really started getting the fans to be like, no, I think we like Bobby.
Okay, I didn't see
You know what I mean? But I do think that, people love Kevin Owens, but they're trying to boom and stuff. And dude, I love Kevin Owens' thing where he tapped out and Seth is all upset at him. He's like, what are you talking about? That was smart.
Didn't that
what I did was really
honestly,
smart.
I honestly was like, this is dumb because Seth Rollins would do the same thing. I almost felt like they didn't need that. I'm not saying that was terrible, but I was like, this isn't believable that Seth would do exactly what what Kevin Owens did.
Exactly, but Seth Rollins is an asshole and a hypocrite.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't necessary.
No, but
I thought it was unnecessary promo.
But it just feeds into the Seth Rollins ego. He says he wouldn't, but we all know he would.
We don't need fucking Seth Rollins to feed into his ego anymore. It's as big as the goddamn arena. I mean,
yeah, that's why it worked and allowed Kevin Owens the opportunity to be incredibly entertaining and talk about how smart he was. Like, it didn't hurt Seth Rollins' character to feed into his ego. He's a heel. And if your thought walking away was like, what an asshole, he would have done the same thing. Yeah, perfect.
No,
yeah, that's exactly.
I wasn't saying what an asshole. I mean, what a I thought it wasn't necessary. I just thought that specific part we didn't need. Because Seth didn't, I think he could have been equally critical of Kevin Owens without going down that road, is all I'm saying. I feel like the writing was a little bit fucking lazy. My fucking opinion.
What do you think, Kev?
I think it was good for them to like explain it and like, you know, walk through it basically, because, you know, the way I'm looking at it is they have Lashley in on the triple or in the fatal 4-way now, and it's Big E versus 3 heels basically.
Yeah.
So, you know, just like KO went out there and interfered and said, "Hey, I punched you, I hit you because, you know, we're trying to keep him out." It made it separated them from being a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a 2-on-1 if it's a triple threat, because then it would have been Seth and KO versus Bobby or Big E.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think if you separate it, you still keep the tension there. You know, I think it was good.
I thought it was good too, because I thought the commentary didn't do a tremendous job of explaining why it was important that Kevin Owens tap out as fast as he did. And so I actually thought it was cool to watch them walk through it a little bit with the psychology there, where Seth even said he didn't even lock it in all the way, because, you know, people online would even be pointing that out. Look, he's not even locked in, he's tapping. What an idiot.
Okay, so to that notion, though, let me just speak specifically to that notion. I was fine with what Kevin Owens said, and I liked that he voiced his strategy to Seth Rollins. But what I'm saying is, it didn't hurt the bit if Seth Rollins was agreeable to that. I should have been concise on what I was saying.
I see what you
felt
mean.
like Seth should have just been like, "Oh yeah, that was a great," and it would actually help I think it would have helped the heel thing even more for Seth, and it would have helped even more for KO. So I feel like that if they would have just taken that one left turn right there and Seth going, "Oh yeah," and then they could have collabed. I still think Adam Pearce comes out and throws a monkey wrench in their thing, doesn't take away from any of that. But they could actually have those two collabing. I don't know. Anyway, they missed an opportunity.
Well, see, and I think the same thing, because I think if that would have happened, Seth could have been like, "Oh, good point. You don't get hurt before the match." And then, okay, almost Survivor Series, what was it, last year? When the bell rings, Seth just rolls out and walks away and says, "Cool, I'm not going to get hurt before a match." And, you know, takes the count out, and then Adam Pearce is like, "No, you can't do that." Or even KO just runs in and hits him and says, "Hey, I did this because of this," you know.
Yeah.
They could have played it in several ways.
Yeah, no, but exactly, 100%. I hear exactly what you're saying.
But I think that the point of having them not agree is just to, like Kev said, keep the idea of a believable tension between the two of them. So they're not a team who are two people who in the Fatal 4-Way should be theoretically teaming up against Big E to try and...
Yeah, I don't want to think anybody's a team.
So I think they were just trying to illustrate that there's still a tension. They still don't want to work together.
I got you. I see.
It's
you're saying the source of the writing. Here's the thing, though. It would have taken 1 second for Rollins to go, "Oh, that's a great idea, but you still fucked up this and that in my head. Don't do this." And they could it wouldn't have changed the notion. I just said it didn't make sense for him to not like it, specifically that tactic. it felt like it was part of his MO and that he should just use it. He could still be angry about him using it, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, they could have hit it a couple different ways. Six Crow coming through the chat. Cheers to Six Crow. He says, "Hey Marsh, got you live." Fellow Sam Schill, good guy.
Yeah. Cheers.
Um,
I'll drink to that.
Well, then the last thing I did want to bring up while I have it, because I found it, I want to know what you guys think. As far as long term goes, Vince McMahon is in a story with Austin Theory. Vince McMahon just doesn't put himself in stories anymore. He's not week in, week out on the show, except he is right now. And he's given the rub to other people. So it's centric around Austin Theory, but you have Apollo Crews talking to him. You have the interaction with Sami Zayn happening. Vince doesn't go on screen with people he's not trying to give the rub to. So he's clearly doing a big thing with Austin Theory. Where do you think this is all going, and how do you think it's going to pay off? What do you think, Beard?
Here's my theory. I think they're selling the WWE. I think this is Vince's swan song. I do. I think the Austin Theory thing is Vince's swan song. And I think they're going to sell it to Disney or whoever. Okay. And they're already an associate of them anyway, right? We talked about Fox being bought by Disney. So anyway, but
not USA.
No. They're selling to The Rock.
Okay. Regardless, whoever is getting them, okay, I think that this is feeding into that. And I also, through the rumor mills, have heard, and I think this is the big reason why they're selling them, is that Triple H is not going to come back in any capacity. I think his health, I think they're realizing we have all the fucking money in the world. Probably realizing what I realized being a retiree. Like, I don't need to do shit. And every day you're like, oh, oh no, I actually don't. I can move this to the right because I can do it tomorrow. I can be a procrastinator. And I think that there's some validity to that. I think that family has been in that business for a long time. And I know, I'm not saying they won't come back. Maybe they maintain a stake in the ownership. But I don't care who buys it. We debated this while you were gone, Kev. We talked about this scenario. Who would you want the WWE to be bought? And we had a whole conversation with Justin Timon with it. But I'll just say, like, for me, I feel like Triple H is not in good health. Vince is old. He looks old. Like,
very old.
Yeah.
This is the last
yeah,
time.
He looks old. Like, I'm happy he's on there and I'm glad we get to see him. I do think this is like a swan song for him. I think they're selling to whoever. Okay. I doubt The Rock. I think it's hopelessly optimistic for you to be rooting for The Rock. It'll be some fucking corporate.
Disney.
It'll be Disney, I believe. Yeah.
$7. $7 Studios is gonna own it.
Yeah,
no, it's Disney.
I don't think it will be Disney.
It's gonna be Disney. You go to California Adventure, take the Undertaker's last ride. Ooh.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll be The Rock specifically. I think it'll be under the guys. I agree with Ken.
The Rock owns Disney though.
He doesn't own Disney.
He's in all the Disney movies.
He's in like a couple Disney movies.
He's just a Tooth Fairy.
He was the Tooth Fairy, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I know. He was the pacifier and a bunch of shit. I get it. He's done Disney stuff. I know. Yeah. And he did the river one, the new one. He did that. I know that. I get that. He also does his own stuff.
Cruise boat.
PC. I'm just saying, like, I get it. Like, that. I'm not saying The Rock won't be involved. I just feel like it will be Disney.
Jungle Cruise. Nailed it.
Yeah. Jungle Cruise was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was entertaining.
It was good.
So yeah. Oh, dude, tonight, as we're speaking, tonight will be the Rock, Young Rock Christmas special.
Oh, Christmas special, The Rock tonight.
Yeah, Young Rock. Yeah.
I do think it's really fucked up they didn't call it Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. It's fucked
okay.
up. But I like that theory, though. The idea that this is his swan song. But where do you think the payoff is? Do you think that... What do you think, Vince? How do you think the swan song ends? Or do you think it's just like we're just watching it play out?
You think we get like a...
Well, I think it's clear that Austin Theory is Vince McMahon's illegitimate son.
Like another one?
Yeah, another one.
Oh, hold on. That could be true. But
other than Hornswoggle.
Do you think they do a what's the movie with Glenn Close and Michael Douglas? Fatal
101
Attraction.
Dalmatians? Oh.
No,
I was thinking the same thing.
Fatal Attraction, where the girl like tries to kill the guy, right? You think they do a Fatal Attraction thing with Austin Theory, and he actually successfully kills Vince, and that's how they remove him from the thing? I mean, again, I'm an excellent writer. I don't know about the WWE writing. I feel like that's what I would do. That would be awesome.
I could see
People
that.
would love it. What?
I could see that, sort of like an Austin Theory gets fed up with Vince and has enough, and
Kills him, and he's gone. Like from
Six Crow in the chat says he will forget his name in 3 weeks. It's a dementia joke, I think. And
Oh, Vince? Damn.
yeah,
Yeah,
and he
I mean,
says,
that could happen too.
and he said cheers to the rest of the gang. So yeah, cheers, Six Crow.
Yeah.
I could see that. Kev, what do you think? Do you think it's a swan song? Do you think it's gonna play out? Austin Theory kills Vince McMahon.
I don't think Austin Theory is going to kill Vince, but I mean, I can see it being his swan song. Like, hey, you know, Vince is,
It's his swan.
you know, Vince needs to enjoy retirement. Just enjoy himself the rest of the, you know.
What is Vince, 76? I think we looked this up last time. He's not young. I mean,
No.
he's not old by today's standard, but you want to be on the road at 76.
But at the same time, you're on the road. You're not near your family. You're not near your grandkids. Your kids are even at home.
Well, yeah, and your son-in-law almost died, from what I understand. Like Triple H's stuff was not just like routine. Like I think he had a heart attack. I think
It's nothing. It's nothing. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I think none of this has come out, and I think it was probably like a triple bypass for a dude that probably did performance-enhancing drugs and put fucking strain on his heart. Not a surprise.
Yeah.
A fucking wrestler, you know. So like, I feel like we're talking about like it's sort of the end of the McMahon days, and I actually am a little bit sad about it that it's not a little bit more involved, but it really does feel like this could be the time. I just feel like with the and honestly,
do you wait, real quick, going into that, do you think that's where they announce it is day one?
I don't know. I mean, maybe like I've heard they want to try to
Well,
make paper.
think about it. If it's day one, like day one under the new regime, like Vince is gone. Like,
You know what though?
Yeah.
I'll say
This
the
is-
reason why I
this
say no,
is-
Kev, not this year,
What-
but maybe next
what
year.
AV after Vince?
No, but the reason why I don't think it will be this year is they if it is this year, it's really bad business by them because they undersold it like a motherfucker. Because there's not been any scuttlebutt about anything. This is just you, me, and Marsh, like with a bunch of conjecture, and it's December 15th.
Yeah,
And
you heard
there's
it here
no
first.
billing to it. No, there's no way. If Vince is going to go out on his sword, which I expect him to go out on, he's going to. I think it's WrestleMania or.
No, he goes out on Drew's sword, which is his sword.
That's a good point. If he's going out on a sword, it's going to be Drew McIntyre's sword.
Well, I would.
Which
love,
is also his sword.
It's his
I would-
sword.
I would absolutely love that, actually.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Just to see you fucking two squirm about it. Because I love Drew McIntyre. Again, genius. Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. I don't know. I like him. I like him. I think he's really good.
Yeah. Well,
He's okay at best.
I could see this being towards the end of it. And the reason I could see it being day one being a thing is because wrestling business has always thrived off surprise. So they could definitely underplay it and be like, boom, today's the day, today's day one, just to get shockwaves through the industry. Which
Yo.
What?
Kind of like the Thunder that Shane McMahon came out on. What if
Yeah.
day one opens up with Tony Khan?
Tony Khan. Yep.
I keep hearing that rumor. Is he the brother?
Oh no, you're talking about Nick Khan.
No. I'm talking about Tony from AEW.
Yeah.
Not Tony, the '80s R&B group.
Tone
But-
Loc.
No, Tony.
Tone Loc was a '90s rapper.
Yeah,
Also a
Tony
voice over
was like an
actor.
R&B, like.
Yeah. Yeah. But Beard Sports talking about Nick Khan, Kevlar's talking about Tony Khan.
Yeah, I'm talking about Tony from AEW. Like
Yeah.
when
coming-
Shane when Shane came out on, it was a Thunder, right?
Yeah, WCW. You're talking about a combining of the brands. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What about day one that style?
That would be the
Tony
shit.
Khan
That's
comes
not
out.
happening. That's not happening. That's not.
Yeah,
happening.
I know it's not.
Can you imagine?
I would love
Can you imagine
it,
just
Larry.
the plummet of ratings?
What? It wouldn't be a plummet. You'd be bringing a lot of great wrestlers back.
This was our Boozy's Award and the last Wrestling on the Rocks.
Well, but here's what I'll tell you about it, though. I think that you would start to get into that antitrust stuff where you got one product, and I'm sure WWE's been down that road before. It's not their fault that there hasn't been competition. I feel like AEW is that competition for them now, and it's only going to benefit both organizations. And I think you guys specifically that have watched wrestling consistently for the last 25 years and not a casual fan like I was, who missed Daniel Bryan and missed Bray Wyatt and missed all that middle of the fucking 2000s stuff. Are going to be like, I honestly feel like I don't think we need that back. I feel like the two organizations are moving in a lot of different directions. I almost feel like the AEW is sort of the love letter for the WWE Attitude Era.
No,
and the WWE is like, we're progressing with our fans. We're progressing with the youth of the world, and we're going to change because we don't fear it. And they're going to let a corporation take over it because there's all this data and money, and they know it's a money-making machine because Vince has just proved it for 50 years. And I think the McMahons will be out, and I don't think they need them anymore. I don't think they're needed. I think their days it's good. I let them be a family and be normal people and enjoy the fruits of their labor. And I think that's what we're going to see. And I hope, actually, honestly, I'm rooting for that.
I am and I'm not, because I've always thought that Triple H and or Shane would be the continuation after Vince.
But are you disappointed that they won't be if that doesn't happen? Because I won't be.
Yeah, it will be.
Well, it depends on the product, truthfully, out of my eyes. But at the same time, as a family, if they're happy, then, I'm happy for them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why I want someone like The Rock to take over, because if you literally have the McMahons and Triple H walk away, and it's owned strictly by Nick Khan and Disney, the fuck do you think you're gonna get? There's no one even close to the wrestling business in it at that point.
Yeah.
I
Outside
mean,
of Nick Khan,
do you need that evil promoter?
The Rock.
There's nothing evil about The Rock or Triple H or Shane McMahon.
You're saying you need somebody that knows the business. It doesn't have to be any of those guys.
Well, no. All of a sudden, it's a quick changing of the tides. Like, how many Star Wars fans got pissed off when Disney bought out Star Wars?
Yeah, it's true.
I think I'll tell you what, I wasn't irritated because I saw what Lucas did to do his own legacy. He literally
100%.
He carried that bitch with Jar Jar Binks. Fucking Misa fucking so horrible. All of us, we're gonna lose a generation of Star Wars fans. But you know what I didn't fucking realize? He actually got a generation of Star Wars fans that love that shit and think of it as canon. And I'm like, it's god awful shit. And if you want to know what I think of it, just watch Red Letter Media, which has been out for 100 years, and it breaks the thing down about how terrible the writing and story was. Fucking awful. And it was a fucking ginormous letdown for a guy who's a fucking huge Star Wars fan. And I'll be honest with you, I never watched anything that made me feel like a kid since The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was so well done. And they had the opportunity to do that stuff. And I want this from wrestling. Like, I expect that they have the ability to do it. They know what fan fucking service is. Because if you don't know what fan service is, just watch what the fuck Marvel's doing right now. You fan service the fans. You don't have to fan service the critics. You fan service the fans. The fans will love what you do if the fans love what you do. If the fans are on the IWC, wherever the fuck going, this is what we want to see. Give them what you want to see. They will love you for it. It's not the worst thing in the world. And the WWE needs to remember that from time to time. And I think that doesn't take Vince McMahon or some fucking wrestling background person to run it. It could be a faceless entity. Honestly, they're going to have managers and shit. That stuff is enough. Paul Heyman could run the motherfucker. I'm just saying, like, I don't care who owns it or runs it. I'm saying I feel like they have the recipe for what's successful, do what's successful, and every once in a while give the fan servicing. When they pay the most money, WrestleMania, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The good guys win.
Well, I mean, that's what they do, but the concern is that, like, yeah, Paul Heyman could do it. He was in the wrestling business for a long time. If you hand it over to movie execs, it's just a huge question mark on what are you going to see on the other side. Is it going to be even recognizable anymore? You just don't know. You just don't know until you see it.
No, the Hollywood people being involved is only going to make that product better. They're fucking master craftsmen of stories.
Maybe.
If you don't think they don't know about making money, you're fucking insane. Like,
maybe.
Yeah, they're only going to improve it. That's why I'm saying it doesn't need to be a family anymore. Your fucking nostalgia needs to be flushed down the toilet.
It's nothing to do with nostalgia. It has everything to do with what
You don't want to
wrestling.
see a non-wrestling person run the WWE, and I'm telling you, it doesn't make a difference. And in fact, if Hollywood's involved or Disney, it's only better for that product because they're going to do what makes money, and what makes money is servicing the fans. In wrestling, how are you going to make money? You want the fan base to be happy, and you're going to put a product out there that people want to see. That's going to be awesome. This is not a negative. This is going to be epic if this happens.
You don't know that. And what we're saying, Sports Beard, is the number one sitcom in the country for like 10 years was Big Bang Theory. And I don't think anyone could arguably say that was the best written or best shot program ever on TV. And I'll be honest with you, I never enjoyed a single second of it. It wasn't for me. But my grandparents loved it, which is great. I'm saying if you take wrestling business out of wrestling and you strictly go to Hollywood, you don't know what it's going to look like on the other side. And that's what I'm saying. It might be cool. It might end up looking like a sitcom. It might end up being such an overproduced thing that it doesn't even look like what wrestling's always been, which is a 360-degree stunt show with acrobatics that's shot live. You don't get that kind of thing just typically even in Hollywood.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's what I'm saying. We may not get to premium wrestling with Hollywood, but we'll get a better story every time. I promise. They're not going to do it wrong. They know what makes that thing, that you have this 50 years of that thing surviving all kinds of economic depression and growth and this and that and the other. The book has been written for wrestling. If somebody doesn't go back and just look at what works, they're idiots. It's all there. It's out in the atmosphere for them to go, this is what makes a successful wrestling thing, because the WWE. So they're not going to change it so drastically that it's a fucking figment of what you think it was going to be. They're going to keep up with what, but they also aren't going to be so blind to the fact that there isn't like a changing of the guard when it comes to what people like and what they watch and how they consume them. Like, I feel like NXT is for the streaming generation because, like, you don't need to watch it live. It's not really live. It's the show. Like, and you just care about the characters. And I feel like if that's how they're building the fan base in some regard, I think the old fan base is going to start to get phased out. And I feel like the McMahons may not feel comfortable with that, but they realize the times are changing because he is a good business person. Let people that know what the fuck they're doing run it. And I just feel like that's where we're going. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Maybe some of us hardcore fans fall off the thing. I mean, I would consider myself hardcore compared to where it came from in the Attitude Era, just to pop in the middle of like the mid 2020s, really. The wrestling business is nothing like it was when I was watching it in like 2002, really, probably the last time I watched it regularly.
So Six Crow says in the chat, he said he read that Stephanie and Triple H's oldest daughter started training, and he always thought Shane and Stephanie's kids would take over one day, which is a cool thought. But he also brings up a really good point. WCW died when the TV guys came in, which is true. When they took the people from the wrestling business out of wrestling, the company tanked. Different
time, and the Bischoff stepping away was more of a factor of that not being successul than the TV guys being involved. I think,
but Bischoff, it happened before then too. It didn't happen one time.
Here's what happened: what happened was Bischoff got burned out.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong, Sports Beard. You're wrong, because he's not talking strictly about Bishop. That was a second era. Before Bischoff was Jim Herd, who was a non-wrestling guy, who came in and took over WCW and tanked the ratings and the entire platform of WCW so bad that they just let Eric Bischoff have it because they said, what's the worst that can happen? It's already a piece of shit. Someone before Bischoff tanked it. Bischoff, who was trained under Vern Gagne, who was a wrestling guy, came in and brought it to new heights. And when he got burnt out,
he's the one that created NWO, and he's the one that
correct.
But he left after that.
He left after that, and it went back to TV guys, and it tanked again.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We're saying the same fucking thing. Bischoff got it to its heights, though.
Yes. And so Bischoff was a wrestling guy.
But I don't think that I'm telling you now, man, that it's like there's a book written on that. That's how you don't do it. And if there's anything I know about this fucking generation is they research everything on the internet. So they see what happened with WCW and they go, oh, we can't do that. We can't let the TV guys dictate because, well, again, I said.
That's what I'm saying.
Anybody knows anything about fan servicing, it's Disney. You service the fans. If you don't service the fans, you don't make money. The Marvel movies are making billions. Okay, if wrestling isn't making what it's supposed to be making, you're going to service the fans to be like, here's what you want to see. Oh, that's not what you want to see. How about this? And they're going to keep doing it. I'm just saying, like, I think now those people are smarter and better.
But arguably, you could say, I think with very little argument, that AEW is the single most fan servicing based wrestling product out there, and you're not seeing the numbers grow. I don't know
because I don't watch it, but
I'm telling you it is because I do watch it. It does everything it does in a huge fan servicing mode. They've never done anything that the fans didn't want at any moment that the fans didn't want it. And they're not seeing incredible growth after growth. They're not beating, like you said, the WWE and a lot of those numbers and stuff.
Hold on.
I'm just saying it takes more than all those things. So we just don't know what happens on the other side.
I get it, but here's the thing about AEW that we're not taking into account. First of all, the fucking ratings now are not like the ratings when MASH aired, okay? When there was 3 networks. So they're rewriting the book on that. Also, they don't know how to track people streaming AEW. Like what's his name said, you made a joke out of it because it was so much stuff to do. But is it really that much stuff to do? I never watched The Office. It was on within like 3 weeks. Steph and I had seen the series complete. So it really doesn't take that long to get caught up on something if you want to get caught up on it, if you're interested in today's streaming thing. So what I'm saying is you could still produce live content, but yet build off that base of people that stream. And that, if you're not doing that, you're kind of fucking insane because that's literally the viewing audience now. People watch shit when they have time to watch it. You no longer have to have a 9 to 5 so you can watch fucking Laverne and Shirley or whatever the fuck, My Favorite Son, all those old Get Smart, all those great old sitcoms. Shit, even when I was a kid, we'd be like, oh, TGI Friday, we got to watch like Family Matters and this and that and the other, all those shows that were on
Step by Step.
Yeah, Step by Step and all that shit that was on Friday night, like 4 fucking shows.
But what we're not talking about, is non-comparables. We're comparing 2 like numbers. That's all I'm saying. Yes, there's a lot of other ways to measure metrics, but if you have 2 metrics you can measure against each other, you do, and that's the whole point of the ratings talk. Is it is a measurable on the same counter.
Is on a cable television network, and WWE
so is Raw.
as well, except for SmackDown. I'm just saying, like, those 2 things don't have to coexist for one to survive and the other not to. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying they both will survive, but you're saying all the company needs to do is fan service. And I'm saying all AEW it does is fan service. And if that's all it had to do to be the best thing, you would see that reflecting in comparable numbers.
An anomaly. We don't know. AEW's an anomaly. You keep using AEW as an example, but it's an anomaly. There's nothing else to compare AEW to. You're saying you can compare it to the WWE, but I'm saying you cannot. And I think you could make some comparisons of AEW to WCW, but I'm also saying you cannot. Because again, if you didn't watch WCW back in the day and you missed it, if you didn't record it on VHS with a timer. I mean, WCW is before DVR technology, really. So now it doesn't matter. Like, you can watch shit on your terms. So if you're into something, you will watch it. Like, I'm into hockey, I'm watching hockey. Like, I'm just saying.
But you can only, with the metrics, you can only get what is live.
But I know, but Kev, hold on. What I'm saying is, the point I'm making is, if you're not spoiling or reading the shit on social media, and it feels new to you. Like I missed SmackDown. You're like, oh, go to Fox now, blah, blah, blah. And I watched it and I'm like, I wasn't all looking for what happened on SmackDown, which I know where to go to do those things. So I was able to watch it and enjoy it just as much as I would if I watched it live. So what I'm saying is they don't know how to measure those type of ratings accurately. People streaming stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yet they still don't have those numbers down. So what I'm saying is you can't take WCW and that whole fucking television model and even compare it to AEW, because now people are watching AEW that aren't watching AEW live. Same with WWE, of course, but I'm saying you can't even compare those things because they're so different. One's on a national network where everybody gets it, and one is not. It's not comparable. Like, and with the recaps, you don't have to watch Raw to know what's going on. So I just feel like, like you guys are off a little bit on this, and that it is going to be a thing where some of the old cronies got to go out. I'm not saying Vince. I think the McMahons are amazingly smart business people, and I think that's why they're selling. So we'll see. If they don't sell, I'm a fucking liar, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And that could easily be the case.
So the comparable things is that you're saying that bring in Hollywood and only good comes from bringing in Hollywood because they know how to fan service. I'm saying historically
Hollywood, I'm saying Disney in specific. If Disney buys them, like, look, I think Disney has done better for the Star Wars brand. Everything that Disney has put out is better than what Lucas was putting out.
Probably makes more money, but it looks way different. And like you said, we just don't know what it's going to look like on the other side. It's way different. They've lost a lot of fans, like you said.
But
they
you
brought in a younger crowd.
Fan base too, right? So if you grow a new fan base on a different premise, it's still wrestling fans. Like if I start to like wrestling again, but it's more on the Disney premise, am I not still a wrestling fan? You may be like Attitude Era and this and what, I've got to miss this, and now it's not the way I like it, and not be a fan of it anymore. But they may have grown exponentially where they don't care about you anymore. So I just feel like that could happen. Now that might scare you, and you might be like, I fear that, and I get it. I understand. Like you don't want to lose the thing you love, but shit fucking changes. I mean, I don't know anything being an old person, right? Like the thing I know is I don't know a fucking thing. What I'll say is the more I grow old, the more shit changes, and shit's gonna change. And a lot of people don't like fucking change. Look at what's going on in our country right now. You can't believe half of this or that or the other. It's like what's right and what's real. So I'm just saying, like, I feel like I would not be surprised if the WWE amalgamizes into a little bit more of a corporal wrestling thing that still is massive and makes a lot of money and has a ton of fans, but it's nothing like we're talking about right now.
Well, the problem with what we're talking about right now is that I haven't finished a sentence in over 35 minutes, and you say you understand what I'm talking about. However, you don't let me say what I'm talking about. So what we're going to do instead,
bitch about it.
If what we're going to do,
stop being a bitch and don't fucking pull this bullshit with me, okay? Just like I have not cut you off one time. I've actually articulated 100% what I'm saying. You're saying you don't believe this, and I'm saying this. You've made your fucking point. I've let you make your point. What the fuck? That's fucking rude shit. We don't need to go down that fucking road. Like, just be cordial about it. I'm saying I disagree. We don't have to agree.
I'm not trying to make you agree. I'm trying to have a conversation. And that's not what it's felt like in quite some time.
Because I've cut you off, and that's fucking horseshit. We've had one. Because how do I don't know your point? What I'm saying is specifically, like, when you're talking about, you're trying to compare things that aren't comparable. So I was counterpointing your argument. That's fucking debate, man. That's how it works. You say something, and I go, oh, point, counterpoint. That's how it goes. It's not you get to fucking write a goddamn novel and then we have to respond to the novel. You fucking let people interject and say if we're having a debate. If you don't want to debate, we don't have to debate. And that's fine. I don't care enough about this shit to debate it. But fucking Christ, man, don't be fucking insulting. Like, I'm not cutting you off. There's a delay. I have to let you talk.
I challenge you to listen to this episode back and tell me you didn't cut me off at all.
Okay.
Even
well,
prior
if you
to
feel
that,
fucking
because I'll give you
butthurt
that.
about it, that's fine. I acknowledge. Okay, that's fine. But you can't make a point. And if I feel like you're going down the road I'm not talking about, I'm going to say, hey, that's not what I'm talking about. And that's fine. Again, it doesn't. This is fun. This should be fun, not fucking bullshit. Like, I made a point about something that I thought was happening with the fucking business of wrestling, and you think something else, and that's fine. And you got to know everything and be right. That's okay. I'm not saying what I'm saying is gospel and is going to be right, but I can disagree with you. And if you make a point that's not where I was going with my argument, because like earlier, the whole Seth Rollins thing, I didn't articulate. I'm not going to say I'm not at fault. I don't have a problem saying that. Like, you invited me here. I'm here and I want to do it. And this is important to me, but it's not important enough to be a negative thing. So like we're going to have our opinions and we don't, and a lot of times I agree with what you say, or your point makes me go, yeah, okay, I understand where you're coming from. But I'm saying, like, I don't feel like it's validated on the other end. I feel like you don't want me to have that thing. And if that's okay, like, it's not my show, it's your show. So
No, I love what you bring. I love the idea that you brought up about Hollywood or Disney, however you want to. I refer to Disney and Hollywood as the same.
Right. And again, I just feel like what it comes down to is you don't agree with my point and then say I cut you off and then let you make your point. I thought your point was clear to me. So I'm sorry. It felt like you articulated what you were saying. I yield to you if you feel like you weren't able to make your argument.
I can respect that idea. I didn't feel like I was being heard, if you can respect that.
But I don't understand how you don't, because I'm making points to what you were saying that were not in agreement to what you were saying.
Spinnerbox in the chat? I don't see it.
You got 50 million people in here now because we were fucking throwing blows verbally. That's how you fucking get ratings on YouTube.
That's how it goes. That's why you get the pointless aggression shirts. Hold on, you're right. Spinner Fox popped up. I didn't see that. Spinner Fox is talking shit about the Cardinals for you, Kev. He says, you know what's funny is the Arizona Cardinals are funny. And then
That's
he says, Cardinals are out. They lost their wide receiver. Oh, okay, well.
We lost a player for maybe the season. We still got him in the postseason, hopefully, but
It's funny because I see that Spinner Fox is in there starting shit. I go over and look, and it's all about Cardinals anyways, which is actually really funny to me. He came and
I'm
talked
telling
about
you,
football.
that's why we can't get butthurt about being on, like, off topic too. Like, it's fucking, people have lives and like other things. Like, nobody's tuning in to one thing to talk about one thing all the time forever. Like, it's not a bad deal if we talk about rivalries or this or that. I understand, like, you feel a little bit like slighted there too, but like, everything relates to everything. And if somebody comes along and they're a casual fan and they're like, oh, I understand the Auburn Alabama rivalry, like this, that, and the other. I mean, do you need to associate it more to wrestling? Sure, fine. I mean, but like, let's not get crazy. Like, if we're not enjoying what we're doing, we shouldn't be doing what we're enjoying.
Yeah, it was about just trying to rein it back in.
And I get that, man, but don't like get frustrated about it because it's just shit. It's just life. Like, I got buddies who didn't come back from the fucking war that would like to be doing inane shit like we're doing. I just like PIIP, man, put it in perspective. What is important in life? I love you, man, like a brother. I enjoy you and your time. And I want to talk about stuff passionately and lovingly about something we have a similar interest in. But I don't, I don't want it to become this thing where it's like you feel slighted and I feel like, because dude, I'm not fucking bitch made. Like, talk to me like a man and tell me what bothers you and I'm good with it. And I will be like, I understand, and I will not do that because I don't want to make you feel like lesser of a person. And that is me. That's just how I am. Don't be fucking passive aggressive. That's the worst fucking thing you can do with someone like me because I will fucking not like it. So like, just be straight up. Like, I felt not heard. And I can tell you, like, I listen to every word that's coming out of your mouth. And I may interpret what you said to me differently than how you felt you articulated it. Because I know I do that all the time. I admit it tonight. the Seth Rollins thing, I was trying to say something else that I didn't get to say because I sometimes feel cut off. So, I mean, again, like it is what it is. So, I mean, it doesn't have to get fucking ugly. And if it does, like, not a big deal. Like, I still want to be boys. I still want to be friends. But, like, passive aggressive doesn't work for me. Just be straight the fuck. Hey, man, like, you didn't hear what I was saying. This is what I was saying. I will not be offended or my feelings will not be hurt. But don't let it go 45 minutes and then be like, yeah, fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, just say, hey, this is what I was saying. Oh, okay. And I'll say, hey, this is what I was saying in reference to that. And if what you were saying has nothing to do with what I was saying, then we should be arguing, right?
Spin Fox in the chat says that he has his WWE rant. He says he doesn't understand how they're signing college athletes because he thought they were doing budget cuts. So I guess he's getting worked by the budget cut theory as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone down that road a lot. They know what they're doing. They're setting record profits. Again, a great time to sell too when you're hitting record profits. So they're going to sell for billions of dollars, and I think we're going to see it very, very soon. And I hope it doesn't destroy what wrestling fans love about wrestling, and I don't think it will, but we'll see.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yep, time will tell.
Yep. We'll see how they do it. I do think the idea that Vince could be on a swan song with Austin Theory is pretty cool to see, if that's true.
Yeah, and, with the changing of the guards and whatnot, like, you're going to lose some people and you're going to gain some people. It's just the way any business runs or happens. Just the way it is.
Are you good, Kev? I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. Like, that's not my point. I'm not going to address, like, fucking unaddressed shit. Like, I'm going to always say, hey, like, this doesn't feel right. Like, what's going on? Like, I feel like I'm being talked to.
Well, like we were talking about stuff and the way the business might change and stuff like that. And it could not. Like, it's all speculation.
Yeah, it's all hypothetical.
And,
there's no reason to get upset or frustrated about it. And I feel like,
it goes back to the Star Wars thing that I said when Disney bought out Star Wars. There was a bunch of people that I'm never watching a Star Wars movie again. I'm never going to do this, and it caused fights between friends and groups and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, we're 10, 15 years deep in it, and there's Star Wars fans that weren't Star Wars fans before, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, but, like, I could visibly see that Ref Marsh is upset, and I get it. Like, it's just, for me, it's like, if you feel like you're not being heard, say you're not being heard, and I agree with that because I felt like I've not been heard. So, like, maybe we both have slighted each other in some way and just, like, not articulated it to one another, and let's just be man enough to do it. And I promise my feelings will be heard.
But that's the beautiful thing about alcohol is that people's voices and opinions get heard, and a lot of things get misconstrued, and at the end of the day, we're still friends. And
yeah, I mean, exactly.
We'll talk about this again.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, it's not like, again, like, Ref Marsh, like, apologies. Like, the last thing I want to do is hurt your feelings and like feel like I'm not doing anything to make you lesser of a person, like or lesser of a host. Like, I feel like, if anything, I asked of you wrestling experts a lot because I don't know. I'm missing a lot of this stuff. But I also am a man with some experience in life and understand, like, what's successful and what's not, and can have an opinion. And it doesn't have to be a right opinion. I think the most important thing is who cares if I'm right or wrong, right? Like, I don't care if I'm right or wrong. And I'll be the first to admit when I'm wrong. So again, I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. But I also don't want my feelings hurt, and if I feel like they are, I'm going to say, hey, this is bullshit. And so, again, I didn't mean to make a fucking crashing into the fucking show, but, like, I just was like, hey, look, like, that's not what don't feel like I was cutting you off. I feel like I was counterpointing your argument. And if you felt like you were cut off, hey, I apologize. I don't mean to do that. I feel like at times I've been cut off. So, like, obviously we both had felt wronged and hadn't voiced it until now. and you know, like I just felt like it was never worth the fucking time because today I have schedule around this. Like this show is a priority. So it doesn't mean that the content has to be, but like that my time with you guys is a priority, and I don't take that lightly. So like I'm making sure that I'm available and accessible, and I don't want to miss it. It's helping me build a brand, and I enjoy the Discord, whether it's positive, negative, we get along or we don't, you know. And I don't think we ever have to go down that road again as far as who's buying it or this, that, or the other. I mean, we just talk about the stuff that's important, but I also don't like Ref Marsh, like, let's not worry about if we get off topic. Like, we should be allowed to talk about movies and stuff that's topical and stuff we like, because it should be enjoyable. Because like you said to me, you're not looking at me, but this is about talking with our friends. And sometimes you talk about other shit with your friends. Like, no big deal. And I get you're not a sports guy, but like Kev seems to be a little bit. So like, if we go off on a tangent, no big deal. And like, you guys will go off on an AEW tangent that I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, yes, I'm not here for AEW. I don't do that. I'm not going to do that. I want to learn. And, you know, I want to hear you guys conversate. Like, we're sitting around your fucking Kev's living room or your living room or my living room, which you guys are all more than welcome to do anytime. You know, anyway, if, you know, I want to hurt anybody's feelings. I also want to be a positive addition to the show and not be like, you know, a thing where I feel like I'm an afterthought. Because if I feel diminished and you feel diminished, then what are we doing? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Let's not do that.
100%.
Well, it's just friends getting together. Like, it's like this little tension right here kind of reminds me of politics. Like,
It's true.
If, you know, with politics, you don't agree with my opinion, we're not friends anymore. That's fucking stupid.
It is.
Like, you can have a difference of opinions and a difference of, you know, everything, but, you know, you can still be friends. You can still be family. You guys can still, you know,
100%.
hug it out at the end of the day. Like, it's whatever. Like,
I agree with you 100%, Kev. I think that's exactly how it is. I think you're just not going to always agree on everything.
100%. And that's, like I said, this is what reminds me of politics, that, you know, oh, if you don't agree with me with this, you know, we can't be friends. Well, if our friendships...
You just articulated what's wrong with America.
Oh, 100%. And that's what I'm saying. If our friendships teeters on whether you believe in this or your view on this or that, well, then our friendship doesn't mean shit to begin with. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know...
And Ref Marsh, I would lend you a kidney, okay? Just so you know. If you needed a kidney, I would give you one.
What about a liver? After tonight, he might need a liver.
Well, he probably doesn't want my liver because it's probably in worse shape than his. But I will say this, and no bullshit, like, I do think of you as a brother. I don't even talk to my own brother. Like, and you know what a lot of it is? What Kev is saying. We just are so different as people that I don't speak to him. And it's not that I don't love him, and I do. Like, I call him on his birthday and shit, and I love him, but like, we don't have anything in common. We believe in fucking different realities. Okay? So like let you know that shit about myself. But also let this, I'm not a fucking perfect, don't think I'm perfect, and know I fuck up. But I want you guys to know, Kevin, Justin, and Time, and whoever's watching this, like anybody, Amanda, Jane, anybody that we ever do the show with, that I'm on the show with, like, don't be afraid to be like, hey man, I didn't like that, or this, I'm not cool with that. Because I might initially be like, oh, but I will always be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I understand. Like, I'm not afraid to admit I'm at fault and that I'm not infallible. Like, and honestly, I prefer it that way because I don't like thinking highly of myself in any way, shape, or form. I never wanted any. I got promoted in the military like 7 times. Okay, I had 1 promotion ceremony for private first class. I retired as sergeant first class. So I just never wanted any of that, like, adulation. I felt like I worked for it and I earned it and I got it, but it was stuff that I, you know, should have had. And I probably should have set more goals for myself, honestly. But but I also am not going to say when I'm collaborating with someone on something that we're passionate about, I'm not going to shit on I'm not shitting on any of your opinions about where the business is going. Like, I respect that. I just wanted to voice mine, and I felt like it was at a counter argument. And if you did not feel like it was a counter argument and we were saying the same thing, then I get that. But I wasn't shitting on you or saying you're a fucking lesser person. I'm just saying this is what my opinion is. And I feel like that's why we have this show, and we're going to not always agree. I actually feel like we've agreed too much on stuff. So, but that's because I actually agree with you guys, because I'm not swayed by peer pressure. So it's like, if I do not agree, I'm going to say, hey, I don't agree on this, but this is why, and this is where I'm coming from. And I want you to respect my opinion. And if you feel like I'm not respecting your opinion, then, we have a problem. But I want you to know, from my perspective, I do respect your opinion. And I thought I was making a counterpoint to your opinion. But if we were going down that road, if we were kind of saying similar things and you just felt like I was being rude and interruptive, then I apologize 100%. I would apologize regardless, even if you now understand where I'm coming from, this, that, and the other. I'd still apologize because I don't want you to feel bad about the interaction. There's no reason. We should have a fun time. This is all about fun and enjoyment and shit we love. We're talking about shit we love on the internet. You know what our fathers are doing and our, not this. Like, we get to talk, and we're 4,000 miles away from each other. And I get to talk to you guys in Arizona about a fucking not real sport, basically. And nobody's feelings should be hurt. Like, for my mental health and stuff, I always rely on that, put it in perspective. And I'm like, what, this is incredible. Like, my dad was a logger and a weed salesman, not two jobs that necessarily go hand in hand, but like things that were a product of him being a product of the 70s. And I remember growing up in the 80s very fondly. And when I watch something that reminds me of the 80s, I think about it very nostalgic. But I also remember digging in the dumpster for my next meal in the 80s, which is not something I always want to relive. So again, apologies to you, Ref Marsh and Kev, if you don't feel heard, but don't be afraid to say, hey man, I don't feel heard. I was saying this and you're saying I was saying that. Well, I also am not going to interject my own opinion into your words. If you feel like you were saying something and you didn't get the chance to articulate that, then I apologize. And, we are here at this juncture.
But that's the beauty of opposite points of views and opposite opinions, is that, we live in America and we can, say our piece and what I believe in or what you believe in. And, at the end of the day, like I said, we'll have a drink and laugh about it, argue about it, whatever. But just realize that other people's opinions matter just as much as yours. And like you said, that's America's problem right now. Like, a lot of people can't see it that way, which is fucking crazy.
It's called objectivity, right? And you have to understand, you have to be objective and be able to understand where you're coming from if you have dissenting viewpoints. And I want you to understand, even if I don't understand, I understand. Like, the whole vaccine thing. Like, look, I got the vaccine. I got the booster. I don't care. I'm not a big giant pussy, I feel like. But what it comes down to is if somebody doesn't want it, I also respect the shit out of that. Like Aaron Rodgers.
It shouldn't be forced on people.
What? No, it's their fucking personal medical thing. Like, it's your life.
It shouldn't be forced.
If you're allergic to the mRNA or you feel uncomfortable or you're not feel safe with it, you should not have to do it. Like, I respect that thing.
Going off topic once again, I just hate how it was politicized. Like, I got my vaccine.
It should never have been. It's just like Wes Marsh hates AEW. I don't have that opinion in AEW. I don't have that opinion in AEW, but I don't have an opinion of AEW. I don't have a positive or negative one. So it means when he talks to me about AEW, I know he's coming from a little bit of a standpoint where he doesn't like it, but it doesn't mean he's not going to say something favorable. And you have, Rev Marsh, you have said stuff favorable about it. But I also don't care because I'm not going to watch it. I know I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to have time for it. But I do care because I want to hear what he's saying about the validity of AEW compared to WWE, because that is the basis of our show in some regard. And I feel like that only helps it because we have an extra bit of content outside of the indy. So again, Rev Marsh, again, I deeply apologize if you felt unheard or slighted. And if I put words in your argument, I apologize. I'm going to leave it at that.
Sounds good to me. Kev, anything else?
No, I think we covered a lot of shit today.
Yeah. I actually was watching that. What was it? It was who's Alabama and was
Auburn?
it Georgia? Auburn? Yeah.
Or Alabama and Auburn played, or Alabama and Georgia played like a week or so ago.
Yeah, the Auburn one, because of Conrad and Jeff Jarrett talking about putting bets on it, and I was like, oh, now I want to see it, and so I watched it.
Okay.
At least most of it, but not all of it.
I think Alabama dominated that game in Georgia, and I thought they would.
Which I thought was interesting, because Conrad from Alabama thought they wouldn't, so that's why I thought it was interesting. When I tuned in, they were winning. So.
Well, Georgia did have the #1 defense in the Americas, and everything in the SEC is bloated because they think guys from Florida, Alabama, and Georgia are better football athletes than guys from California and shit. But what they don't know is some of the best athletes on those teams are from California and Texas. Texas is the #1 high school football school in America. You can't convince me otherwise. And they don't get their best players, so it's a weird thing. And you know what? Honestly, Texas is probably Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, all Texans, lots of Texans. It's funny because you could almost make the argument there's as many good Texans as there are Canadian wrestlers. Your favorites, Jericho, Sami Zayn, we talked a lot about.
Oh,
now Brock Lesnar calls Canada home, even though he was born in the U.S. He's a Canadian now.
Shawn Michaels was actually born here in Arizona.
Oh, was he? Oh, yeah, and so was, you know who else was born in Arizona that I forget about is $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, even though he's like you think, oh, he's from like Mississippi, but he was born in like some podunk Arizona town. So
that was Tucson, thanks. No,
it wasn't Tucson.
I'm just kidding.
It wasn't Tucson, and it was a really small town that wasn't aware.
I know his brother used to teach high school here in Arizona, or in Tucson.
Yeah.
My cousin took his brother's science class, I think it was.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. But anyways.
And he was adopted, too. I think.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think. Look it up after I'm done, but I think he was an adopted kid. And I think his stepdad was a wrestler. And that's why he liked it. Yeah, I believe so. Ted DiBiase. I watched the documentary. It was a little bit more of a Jesus infomercial, but the first part was very much about like his background and stuff in Arizona, and it's on Prime if you get Amazon Prime, I think.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Anyway.
Cool.
I feel like I hurt your feelings a lot, Ref Marsh, and I feel bad, and I don't like it. That's not my intention. It's fun to play heel, but I don't actually want to be one, you know? So,
Spin Fox brings up a really good point, Kev. He says HBK saw the football teams and said, fuck this, I'm gone, and went to Texas.
Which is, they don't have a...
Dude, why are we shitting on the Cardinals? I'm rooting for the Cardinals. I want the Cardinals to win. Hey guys, I'm gonna be. I know Ref Marsh is talking about moving to the Northeast at some point and be in the Philadelphia area. I'm talking about like living half my time in Alaska and half my time in Arizona, like all my other retired Army buddies. And I fucking do not want. I do not want you guys to not be in Alaska or Arizona, honestly. I'll move to Tucson.
Well, isn't Splinter Fox from like Oregon, where they don't know how to win anything?
Well, they don't have any professional teams. Oh wait, they have the Trailblazers. Oh wait, they don't have any. Yeah. Actually, in fairness, the fucking Portland Timbers MLS team, I think, was in the championship. I think they did lose,
but they lost.
But they've won a bunch.
The Man City Sister Club. Woo!
Are you a fucking New York City FC club because you like City?
Yeah.
You are such a shitbag. You are such a shitbag soccer hooligan fan.
Guilty by association. My bad.
Yeah, you're fine. Congrats. And I didn't bow to your fucking Man City beating the shit out of Man United. Oh, yeah. Have fun not winning the Champions League, Pep, you fucking fuck.
It's all right. You guys had to fucking try and rig Champions League. That's why you had to
We're in
redo.
Champions League still. We're gonna win it.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got a
but
German coach now. We're good.
that's all right.
Yeah. Good luck, buddy. The last time a fucking a Premier League team hired a big time German coach, Liverpool, what'd they do? Win the Champions League. Eat it. We're gonna win the Champions League. I know nothing. By the way, Kev, I know nothing about this coach. I know nothing about his strategy. I really don't care at all. Like, I don't care. Like, I want to give you shit about City because I'm a Man United fan, but like, I don't really give a shit. So
It's okay. Manchester's blue, and I'm happy with that.
yeah, there you go. Who cares?
But Splinter Fox likes Oregon. Oregon's football doesn't do shit besides go to the championship and
They've
shit.
won a national. I thought they won a natty once. They won a natty. They won
No,
a national championship.
nope. Not even with Mariota. Nope, they always came up short.
Oh, they never.
That's
won
Scam
it.
Newton. Scam Newton was there rolling the War Eagle over the Ducks.
Oh, was it the Auburn's national championship? Okay.
Mhm.
I did not know. Ref Marsh, you good? I want to hear from you because I feel like I don't want to leave you in a foul mood or a pouty mood or I don't like you, Jeremiah, and I'm never having you on my show again. You fuck. I have the Zoom, you fucking motherfucker. You're not coming back on, you prick. No, but like I don't want you to feel slighted or unheard. I mean, that's important to me. Like,
I respect that. Splinter Fox does say at least we get there, unlike some weak ass Wildcat and Devil. So I guess that means he is from Oregon, which I think is remarkable that you remembered that more than anything at all, Kev. The idea that you could remember Splinter Fox was from Oregon. When you said that, I was like, fuck it, what a shot in the dark that was. But the fact that you...
that just means Kev's a good host and he cares about his fans. And
No, it means he's that petty. And he knows the places he hates.
No, because
100%.
honestly, no, but Kev, really, like, Arizona's never better than Oregon. Arizona's never better than Oregon or the California teams. There's usually one of the four.
Why do you think I started duck hunting? Just because I hate Oregon that much.
Yeah,
I remember,
that's a nice try.
I remember
might be a
going
conservationist.
I remember going to a football game, and there were some like old ass Oregon fans, like in their like 60s, and I'm I think 16 at the time, maybe 15, and these old ass Oregon Duck fans blowing duck calls at us, whack, 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 and I'm like, man, fuck you, fuck the Mighty Ducks, fuck all the Ducks, I'm shooting you all.
The Mighty Ducks are associated with the Oregon Ducks. That's not fair.
Yeah, but they're still Ducks. They fly to the south during the winter. And
I mean, they do play your Yotes in the Pacific. So, oh no, Yotes aren't in the Pacific anymore. They're in the Central.
The hockey's
the
ending fucking stupid right now.
You know what, man? They're going to get the home shit worked out. They're not moving. Bettman knows. Look, dude, the best player in the NHL might be Austin Matthews. He's from Scottsdale. Okay?
Yep.
It makes no sense to not have hockey in it.
They're going to move to Tempe, which pisses me off because then they're going to promote the ASU hockey team, which pisses me off because then they're going to have nice-ass facilities.
Yeah, but doesn't U of A not have a hockey team?
We have a club team. We don't
so you don't even play ASU. They're Division I.
Exactly.
The club team is like
going to make them stronger.
No, I mean, first of all, they're already known as like the hot chick party school of the Southwest, so they don't need any help. And I'll just say this: hockey players are drawn to hot chicks and parties. So, like, that fucking school was made for hockey players. And then you got some of the most famous hockey players like Shane Doan, Paul Bissonnette live in that area. It is what it is. But let's not talk anymore about hockey. Ref Marsh, I know you want to wrap the show up.
Yep. I'm running late for the other things I got to get done.
Yeah.
Guys, oh, Splinter Fox is in there just talking mad shit about with the quacking and
we don't want you getting hit with broken
troll.
plates, so let's end this fucking show.
So we will be back tomorrow night here in the dive bar of the IWC. Me and Miss Amanda Jane. I do not believe Clump will be making it, but we will be back for a brand new episode 1. Guys, that's last call.
Cheers.
Guys. Thank you.
If it is so late, report us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling.